एमसी में मुझे बना दिया। Mayank, why the students are standing over there?
Once again, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to one and all. I warmly welcome all of you to the inaugural session of the 17th edition of INDIACom. Yes, dear participants, we welcome you all to INDIACom 2023, the 10th International Conference on Computing for Sustainable Global Development. Today's session is also being live streamed on our official YouTube channel, BVI Cam New Delhi. We are privileged enough to have a galaxy of experts joining us from all over the globe today in this inaugural session. Very soon, just in a matter of few minutes, we are about to begin with the inaugural ceremony. So if any of your colleagues and friends are yet to join this WebEx room, please request them to join as soon as possible. We are all set to begin with the inaugural ceremony. INDIACom 2023, technically sponsored by IEEE Delhi section, supported by Computer Society of India, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineer, Indian Society for Technical Education, Institute of Media Professionals, and Institute of Information Technology Professionals, IITP.
I request all these to stand and welcome our guest. A very good evening to everyone. Try not to become a man of success, but rather a man of value. I, Dr. Parul Arora, on behalf of whole BVICam family, welcome you all to celebrate 17th INDIACom 2023, 10th International Conference on Computing for Sustainable Global Development. INDIACom 23 is an initiative to bring forward prominent personalities from different walks of life, ranging from academics and research to science, in order to explore and expose new avenues in green computing solutions that support and aid sustainable global development. Believing in the vision of becoming a contemporary institute that effectively adapts and contributes effectively towards international development in the era of rapidly changing global economy and scenarios. As rightly quoted by Robin S. Sharma, dreamers are mocked as impractical. The truth is, they are the most practical as their innovation leads to progress and in a better way for life for all of us. With a mission, reach horizons of technological innovations and development, INDIACom commences with a bright vision to widen the imaginations and perspective, to prune rehearsals which should be restricted, and to advance when and where it is so be carved. Rightly said, the creative process is the art of unfolding the hidden colors resided beneath the formulation of mind. Since its inception in the year 2007, INDIACom has pulled in famous academicians, researchers, scientists, specialists, industrialists, technocrats, government agents, and social visionaries from all walks of society to discover the new prospects of innovations, to recognize opportunities, and to characterize the way ahead. The essential motivation behind this conference is to provide the rightful exposure to the discoveries and work of people who have done so much hard work and dedication in achieving their goals and putting their desired efforts towards their research. This year, conference will span over 3 days, that's from 15th to 18th March, combining regular paper sessions, invited talks, and special sessions. The concluding day of INDIACom 2023, that is March 17th, will witness the inauguration of our annual fest of BVICam, National Students Convention, consisting of various technical, cultural, and media related inter college activities. Wishing all the participants at the conference and the deliberations all the success. I wholeheartedly welcome you all to INDIACom 2023, the 17th edition of the annual series and 10th International Conference on Computing for Nation Development. I hereby request Professor M.N. Huda, Director, BVICam, New Delhi, and General Chair, INDIACom 23, and Executive Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi Section, to welcome the Honorable President of the function, Professor K.K. Agarwal, noted academician, former Chairman, National Board of Accreditation, New Delhi, and former Founder, Vice Chancellor, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi. We warmly welcome you, sir. I now request Professor M.N. Huda to welcome the Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Arvind Gupta, Director General Software Technology Parks of India, STPI, New Delhi. We warmly welcome you, sir. I again request, sir, Professor M.N. Huda, sir, to welcome the guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar Gupta, Director, Indian Council for Social Science Research, ICSSR, New Delhi. We warmly welcome you, sir. I now request Professor A.K. Saini, Conference Chair, INDIACom 23, Vice President, the Institution of Electronics, I request R.K. Vyas, Shri R.K. Vyas, to welcome the guest of honor, Professor A.K. Nayak, former President, Computer Society of India. We warmly welcome you, sir. The following honored guests, many of whom were to come for the inaugural function in purpose, could not come because of the various travel restrictions, have joined the inaugural function online. Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, Chairperson Consultants Network Affinity Group and former Chairperson IEEE Delhi Section. Professor Tom Gaydon, Optus Chair in Artificial Intelligence at Curtin University, Perth, Australia. Professor Girija Shetty, Department of Information Technology and Systems, University of Canberra, Australia. Dr. Masood Mohammadian, Department of Information Technology, IT and Systems, University of Canberra, Australia. Professor George Halikias, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science, University of Athens, Athens, Greece. Dr. Dimitra Paslupotlu, School of Mathematics, Computer Science of Engineering, City University of London, UK. Dr. Yasir Edis, Greenwich University, London, UK. Professor Ata Atun, Cyprus Science University, Turkey, political advisor to the President of State University, Turkey. Dr. George Siramisis, Department of Computer Science, Higher College of Technology, Abu Dhabi, UAE. Professor Abdullah M. Basel, Professor, Department of MIS, King Abdulaziz University, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Awad Saleh Al Harabi, Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Mishal Mofla Al Mutari, Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia. With great pleasure, I welcome all the dignitaries, and we now start off with INDIACom 23. I now request Shri R.K. Vyas, former President, Computer Society of India, to open our event.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my proud pleasure to be here amongst you all on 17th Annual Convention, 17th Convention of INDIACom 2023. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Arvind Kumarji, Honorable Professor K.K. Agarwal, Chief Guest, Mentor and Guide for INDIACom 2000, INDIACom rather, from last 17 years. And I think we have really grown under his mentorship for all these 17 years due to his guidance. Guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar Gupta ji, my dear friend, Professor Huda, Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth, Computer Applications, and basically the brain behind this activity starting from 2007, along with two hands like me and Professor Saini. My dear friend, Professor Nayak, whom we term as Bade Bhai in our Computer Society of India fraternity, and he's always like our elder brother in Computer Society of India. My dear friend, Dr. Yadav and Dr. Singh, who has also been associated with INDIACom since the beginning of INDIACom in 2007. All professionals from various societies like IET, Computer Society of India, IST, IEEE, who are behind this activity from last so many years. Dear faculty members from all over the country and the faculty members who have contributed papers, research papers this year and in the past, I welcome you all. Besides this, I also welcome all those invited dignitaries across the world who are joining us online for this activity, because this INDIACom 2023 is again in hybrid mode as we had in INDIACom 2022, that is in 2022, that is 16th INDIACom and 9th International Conference. I must say, the topic which we have chosen around 17 years back, that computing for sustainable development. the best example for sustainable development, I must say that INDIACom is also the best example for sustainable development. We have changed many times, starting from the day one, when we used to call research papers, etc., in a manual form and scrutinize them and do many more things. And it used to take about 3-4 months to do all those things. And always, Professor Huda, myself, and Professor Saini, we are always hard stuck, ki kal kya hoga, aaj kya hoga, and many more things. But as the time changed, we have really taken care of all those computing aspects, and we have introduced at various stages, various level. And today, Professor Huda is so equipped that we only talk on telephones and do whatever smaller things we have to do. Everything is online, everything is very well documented, and each and every step is really earmarked. At times I say it is hard marked rather. Generally we talk about soft marks, but now every aspect, every stage of this INDIACom is hard marked, and we have really done the development. And you must see, the development sustainability is there, because in last 2 years, most of us have seen many of the conferences, many of the things has really not taken place. But under all hard circumstances, we have continued this INDIACom, whether it is in online mode, whether it is in hybrid mode or whatever base. And not only that, we have started the international mode of this around 10 years back, and that also continued during the pandemic session also. So with this, I think we all appreciate. And one thing I always say, and every year I say, this is the most suitable conference by the researchers across the country, and now it is across the world also. People or the researchers wait. As soon as this will be over on 17th, Professor Huda will be getting called, when will be the next conference? What are the dates for next conference? What are the submission dates of the research papers? And all these things researchers start asking. And this is the fact that why we have grown so large for last 17 years. And I hope, last year also I told, if by the God of grace of God, I hope we'll be celebrating Silver Jubilee, and I hope I'll also be there in the Silver Jubilee at that time, and with the blessings of the Professor K.K. Agarwal, which we always have. With these words, I must say, and before I leave, I will always say, this could not have been possible because of 2-3 things. Because the overwhelming response which we got from the researchers across the country, across the world, the professors and the professionals who are joining us on the INDIACom activity across the world, within the country, and other professional societies which are encouraging us, the members and the directors and the presidents of the all societies like IEEE, etc., who are encouraging us for doing this. And besides that, I must thank the management of Bharati Vidyapeeth, which is always there with us under the able guidance or the guidance of Professor Howda, with the management of Bharati Vidyapeeth, which has already given us this opportunity to conduct this activity in whatever way it was. I recall the year when our visionary Professor Kadam, we lost our Professor Kadam. On that visionary Professor Kadam of Bharati Vidyapeeth, we lost him, but still we continued with the technical session, because his vision was education for all, professionalism for all, and we started continuing on that session. During that year, we had all the technical session except the extracurricular activities, which we really didn't conduct due to that. But still, Bharati Vidyapeeth management, faculty members, and obviously the young students of Bharati Vidyapeeth who are always with us, sharing lot of things or lot of works, and day in and day out. I must thank all the faculty members. And finally, with these words, I thank you all for coming to this session. That is the 17th session of INDIACom and 10th International Conference of INDIACom in the year 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. I now invite Professor Emin Huda, Director, BVICam New Delhi and General Chair, INDIACom 2023 and Executive Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi section to deliver welcome address to our audience.
A very good evening to all of you. ऐ वादिये जमील मेरे दिल की धड़कनें आवाज के आदाब कह रही हैं तेरी बारगाह. Honorable President of this inaugural function, Professor K.K. Agarwal sir, noted academician of the country, former chairperson of National Board of Accreditation, former founder, vice chancellor for 2 terms of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, and a fatherly figure, philosopher, guide to almost many of us. Honorable Chief Guest for today's inaugural function, Shri Arvind Gupta ji, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India. Honorable Shri Ajay Gupta ji, Director Research, Indian Council for Social Science and Research. My Bade Bhai, Professor Nayak, who is said to be the Bhishma Pitama of IT fraternity from the eastern part of the country and former President of Computer Society of India. My friend and co-founder of this INDIACom, Mr. R.K. Vyas. Very, very dear friends amongst the audience, Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh ji from DST, Mr. Shiv Kumar ji, one of the most veteran member and the pillar of Computer Society of India particularly from Delhi, and my fellow alumnus from Aligarh Muslim University, Dr. Yadav, the former Secretary of Computer Society of India, faculty colleagues, delegates from different parts of the country who have already come, and the delegates who are there online waiting for their sessions tomorrow and day after tomorrow, ever energetic students, and all those who plan to travel but because of various reasons they could not plan. As I have invited on my personal request, they made it possible to attend this INDIACom inaugural session and grace the occasion online. I would like to name them. Professor Subrata Mukhopadhyay, the former chairperson of IEEE Delhi section. Professor A.Q. Ansari, the present chairperson of IEEE Delhi section. Professor Thomas Gideon, the Optus chair in Artificial Intelligence at Curtin University, Perth, Australia. Professor Girja Shetty, Department of Information Technology and Systems, University of Canberra, Australia. Dr. Masood Mohammedian, again from University of Canberra, Australia. Professor George Halikias from Department of Computer Science, University of Athens, Greece. Dr. Dimitra from City University of London. And my friend Dr. Yasir from Greenwich University, London, joining to us from Turkey. Professor Atatun, the Cyprus Science University, Turkey. Dr. George, he has visited at least half a dozen times in INDIACom previously. Nowadays, he is with Higher College of Technology, United Arab Emirates. Dr. Abdullah Bashail, the Dean of Information Science Department, King Abdulaziz University, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Awad Saleh from Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Mishal from Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia. My friend from IIT, the Secretary of IEEE Delhi section, Dr. Rajneesh Sharma from Chitkara University. All EXICOM members of IEEE Delhi section who have joined online. I cannot take name of them because of the paucity of the time. Friends from all collaborating professional societies, Computer Society of India, IST, IET, and all other societies. I take this opportunity to welcome you all in the inaugural function of 17th edition of INDIACom. शायद 1 साल के बाद INDIACom भी वोट देने के लायक हो जाएगा. 18वां साल पूरा हो जाएगा. Friends, in 2006, 3 of us, me, Mr. Vyas and Professor A.K. Saini were there. and we decided to start a series, annual series of the conference. With this thought, we went to Professor K.K. Agarwal, sir, who was at that moment the Vice Chancellor of Indraprasth University and gave us that opportunity. Anytime, any moment, the moment we used to go without appointment also, at least he will call in, will talk to us, and then we'll say, okay, go ahead. And then he motivated, yes, it is a good idea, you should go ahead. And from that year, Indraprasth University has started collaborating for the conference and is still collaborating. This is 2006 and now 2023. With that small and humble beginning, we started and we came to a level for which मैंने ही 2 पंक्तियां लिखी थी बहुत पहले कि जो सफर की शुरुआत करते हैं वही दरिया को पार करते हैं, जो सफर की शुरुआत करते हैं वही दरिया को पार करते हैं, क्योंकि अच्छे मुसाफिर का तो रास्ते भी इंतजार करते हैं. With this small beginning of around 89 paper in the first INDIACom, 2019 was a situation just prior to COVID. We received 3,300 papers and we were struggling how to process these papers, and after so much of a stringent process, still we processed 1,200 papers were accepted. But then from 2020 onwards, COVID started disrupting. And when COVID came in 2020, we were deliberating how to conduct INDIACom now. Because that till 2019, the footfall used to be for 3 days around 3,000 plus people. But then we realized, yes, our theme is also sustainability. Let's go in online mode. So 20 we did it at a curtailed magnitude with some online facility, means a hybrid facility. And we were right in this hall doing inauguration of INDIACom in March 20. And the news has started coming that everything is being closed, and now institutions, colleges, lockdown is going to be announced, etc., etc. So from 2020, we thought that now it's a time of consolidation and let's go in a hybrid mode. But because we are going in a hybrid mode, many things need to be controlled. So let's bring down the magnitude to a level where we can monitor, we can comply with the requirements of the quality. And this year, 2023 is again now slowly we are bringing back the offline culture. But yes, once the advantages of the online and the hybrid mode is realized, probably many of the authors, and we also don't press to those authors to come all the way from different parts of the country and abroad. But certainly the footfall and the networking, which magnifies or which improves the overall aura of the conference, that will be missing in any case in a hybrid mode. So all of them are there online, attending and trying to encourage us from their presence. My dear friends, this is all nothing but a process of change which is by default and always available. And we need to embrace that change. We need to understand that unless we accept the changes, unless we accept the adaptability, possibly the sustainability will not come. And that's how I always say that इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है. इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि हम अपने आप को नहीं बदलते. And we have changed ourselves from a fully offline mode. Now we are in a hybrid mode. And that's how Ghalib said, उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. अगर मैं कोविड को दोष देता तो शायद INDIACom बंद करना पड़ता मुझे. Lekin we didn't pay that attention. We tried to utilize the technology and where we are. Dear friends, INDIACom 2023, which is 17th edition of this annual conference, which was started in 2007 in collaboration with all possible professional societies in the country like IEEE, CSI, IET, IST, IITP, IMP. This year INDIACom has attracted over 1,000 papers, out of which we have accepted close to 337 papers, maybe 2 plus minus, maybe in coming days as well. And these 338 papers have been authored, accepted papers have been authored close over from 600 authors from 26 countries, countries like United States of America, Australia, Malaysia, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Tunisia, Serbia, Romania, United Kingdom, Denmark, Greece, Spain, Ireland, Bangladesh, Ghana, Japan, Oman, United Arab Emirates, etc., etc. And of course, the beauty of INDIACom is all the states of the country are always represented since last 17 years. That is the beauty of the INDIACom. So dear friends, the moment you receive more papers, the job of the technical program committee becomes difficult. all authors expect that my paper should get accepted, but because of constraints because of the fact that this conference is approved by IEEE and the papers after presentation shall be submitted to IEEE. So we need to comply to that level. We need to ensure that every coming edition of INDIACom should have a better and better quality. So we cannot give a space to all the authors. And also for the reason that probably if we give them more time, they may be in a position to revise the paper in a better way and come back to us, but that much time is also not available. So the program committee did an excellent job and accepted 337 papers, out of which 44 papers, a chosen set of 44 papers have been recommended to be published in the hard copy of the pre-conference proceeding, which shall be released here. All 337 papers have also been published in a soft copy, pre-conference soft copy, which will also be released in this inaugural session. And after their presentations, maybe few paper may not get presented. So first the process is registration, then after the presentation. After the presentation, the set of all presented papers shall be submitted in forms of the third proceeding after the conference to IEEE Explore, which will be abstracted and indexed, possibly in all possible world's premier abstracting and indexing agency like Web of Science, Scopus, DBLB, NSPECS, etc., etc. Coming back to this particular theme, which my friend Mr. Vyas was talking, that the theme we have chosen 17 years ago is still relevant. Yes, it is still relevant. And every coming day is making this more relevant, sustainability more relevant, and the challenges are also coming more. So dear friends, all of us know that close to 800 million people in India alone and around 3 billion people globally are living in villages. Glimpses of that were quite visible when in March 2020, nationwide lockdown was announced on account of COVID-19. And in this backdrop, any mission towards achieving inclusive and sustainable development will not generate fruitful result unless the application of computing reaches to the most underprivileged people, deprived section of the society, especially those who are living in villages. Friends, the concept of PURA, coined by our honorable late President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, that providing urban amenities in rural areas. If we really implement this, then only it is possible that the sustainability can be brought and everyone can be taken together. So our researchers have to go a long mile, way ahead of just focusing on the publications. Rather, they have to go and understand to the extent that how and in which way the researches which they are conducting can be utilized for betterment of the people, for improvising the quality of the human being on this planet. If we do not consider this, possibly the purpose of the computing, which is to improvise the sustainability factor, which is to improvise the ratio of the sustainability on this planet, will not be in a position to be fulfilled. With the help of the innovative and cutting-edge researches in the computing, we have no option but to connect to the unconnected people, reach to the unreached, include to the not included section of the society, serve to the underserved section of the society, and bring technology closer to them as closer as possible, making technology for masses a reality. That is what should be the objective in coming days. In the backdrop of COVID-19, I personally feel that the skill sets which has now been given the terminology as RISC. Those who are from computer science background, they know CISC and RISC are two very important architectural domain, complex instruction set computing and reduced instruction set computing. But this RISC, RISC, has got a different meaning. This RISC in the backdrop of COVID-19 says that R stands for resiliency, I stands for inner strength, S stands for strategic thinking, and C stands for collaborative digital mindset. So this will be the skill set required out of the professional in 21st century. That is what is my understanding, that unless we go digital, unless we have a strategic thinking about the processes and the business process re-engineering, and unless we embed the resiliency component inside it, probably the sustainability factor in the era of this digital age 21st century will not be in a position to be realized. And of course, despite the fact that now the hybrid model are the reality, so need of such programs, whether offline or online or whether hybrid, is always there. And that's how I became very happy when I see many institutions across the country are coming out with similar programs they acknowledge from the public munch that we learned many things from the INDIACom. We learned many things out of the initiatives of the INDIACom, particularly the special session concept which we started in the year 2013, that any professors or any set of professors, maybe 4 or 5 researchers can collaborate together, can propose to me that I want to conduct a special session in INDIACom. That was started in 2013. And then those 4 professors, those 4 experts, maybe from 4 different cities, and they can collaborate and convene in a special session. And now from last year onwards, we have permitted that they may even conduct that special session right in their institution as a parallel track, and we will be monitoring and providing expert services from here. And this year also, last year also it had happened, and this year also at one of the engineering college, MVSR College of Engineering at Hyderabad, the authors from nearby estate and the special session chairpersons will be conducting their sessions in offline mode right in Hyderabad, and will be of course facilitated through our office in Delhi. So that is the kind of penetration of INDIACom, and that's how I say that आशियाने से बढ़कर है, आशियाने से बढ़कर है फिक्रे चमन. आशियाना पे घर को कहते हैं और चमन अपने वतन को कहते हैं कि आशियाने से बढ़कर है फिक्रे चमन, आशियाना तो फिर बना लेंगे हम, एक उम्मीद की लौ सलामत रहे, 100 दिए इस दिए से जला लेंगे हम. In last 5 years, when I see collaborations happening amongst researchers in a big way, and amongst those researchers who have been authors, special session chairpersons out of this conference. I'm happy to tell you that professor from Saudi Arabia is collaborating with a professor at Australia, doing joint research, writing a paper and submitting in the next edition of the INDIACom. That's the kind of the achievement which is coming up. A professor from London collaborating with another professor from Greece, writing a joint paper, doing some research and submitting a paper in INDIACom also. So much so that a professor from Allahabad in UP is collaborating with another professor in Spain, another professor in France, and submitting a paper, joint paper in INDIACom. That's the kind of the collaboration which has been fostered out of this INDIACom in last 5-6 years. That I consider as one of the visible outcome of this INDIACom. Dear friends, it's not only INDIACom. There are many initiatives which at Bharati Vidyapit we have started, again under the mentorship of Professor K.K. Agarwal sir. In 2009, after 2 years of starting of the INDIACom, we started an international journal like any other institute starts an international journal. And from 2009, we struggled to sustain that international journal, but sustained it in a very honorable manner. And 2016, publisher, world best and largest publisher of scientific document like Springer Nature came forward to us and said that we wanted, this journal is doing well, and we wanted to co-publish this journal on our platform so that your international reach can increase. And after some initial negotiations, meetings, we finally entered into an agreement. And from 2017, that international journal, which we started right in the institution as an incubation in 2009, is now published by Springer Nature, indexed at Scopus, indexed as DBLB, indexed as UGC Care List, and by 2019, its site score was 1.9. Now the latest site score for 2022, by end of 22, which has been released, is 3.5, and is amongst the top 100 journal of the Scopus, which is performing, and that is an achievement of this incubation. Exactly in the same way, when COVID hit us, not only entire world, so almost for 2-3 months we were blank what to do. And I was vice chairperson of IEEE release section. We sat in one of the meeting online, and then we decided that we cannot leave our fellow professionals like this. Let's start some technical lecture series. And then we started 2 kind of initiative. One is technical lecture series in 2020 in the backdrop of the COVID, and the second is faculty development program. And we decided that this technical lecture series should become a kind of regular phenomena, and out of that, every Saturday, we call it as a weekly evening Saturday technical lecture series at IET, IEEE, and INDIACom series. So right from June 2020, we are continuing this lecture series, including FDP and technical lecture series. We have conducted close to 300 plus technical lectures from top-notch speakers from industry and academia. And then when we conducted around 4 or 5 such lectures, then I started receiving feedback. What I do, I keep distributing my mobile number, WhatsApp number, mobile number, and my mail ID in a public domain, so that I keep on getting feedback, because in engineering sciences, it is said that the system can perform only properly or efficiently only when you have a feedback mechanism. So after 4 or 5 lectures, we started receiving the feedback that we have missed half of the lecture, we have missed 1/3 of the lecture. So can you give us a video recording of that lecture? Because whatever part we have attended seems to be very interesting, very useful, and very knowledgeable. So we floated immediately a YouTube repository, the way many other YouTube channels are working. And in last, from almost June 2020 till now, we have uploaded close to 300, rather more than 350 technical lectures, recordings of the technical lectures on that YouTube channel. And last INDIACom, sir, I apprised you that around 35,000 is the views. Now we have 2 lakhs plus views on that YouTube channel, and that all from the researchers from different parts of the world. 2021, we started another initiative, that we realized that 2020, the NEP 2020 came up, and then NEP 2020 started telling that no more a standalone institution, rather those institutions who are a standalone has to go multidisciplinary institutions. So as part of that, or as part of aligning with the NEP 2020, we started a new department, and that department was Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, under which a 3 years bachelor degree program we have started. And under that department of 3 years Journalism and Mass Communication department, the department has initiated Bharati News, a news channel, which in last INDIACom we have inaugurated, and by now the channel has been monetized, sir. So the basic requirement of the YouTube for both the channels, BVICam as well as Bharati News, have been fulfilled. The channel have been monetized. Of course, we have to strengthen it a lot, and could create an alternate space, kind of effective space as an alternate media for those people who wanted some tech news, some political news, and news which is news, not news the kind of analysis and many things. And what slogan we have kept, सीधा, सटीक और निष्पक्ष. जो news है वो news की तरह present की जाए. I will share a link with all of you to receive your feedback. Finally, friends, my message to all of you, that we have traveled a lot, and we know that we have to travel a long way ahead. And understanding that, according to me, the final should be that no matter how much efforts we have put in, no matter how much we have already achieved, no matter how much have we already learned, there is always another peak to scale, another milestone to achieve, another chapter to fill up. And so on behalf of entire team, I assure you, sir, that we will not leave any stone unturned to add further value addition to the events which we have started, which we have initiated, and of course to the academic fraternity to which we all are accountable, and we all are required to perform as well as possible. And that's how my slogan always is, na thakenge, na rukenge, innovate karenge aur aage badhenge. With this message, I wanted to at this moment put on record the hard work of my team members, because I consider myself very fortunate that I have a small team, but that team is capable of doing anything and everything. They never see that we are few peoples, and how to achieve that much big task. So whatever we discuss, we finally plan it, and the moment we plan it, the team comes into execution, and most of the time, before deadline, the executions are completed. So with this commitment, whatever will be possible, we'll be doing it, and do it in the best possible way. So whatever good, whatever best, whatever seamless organization is visible out of these events or these publications are certainly the achievement of the team. And wherever deficiency, problems, shortcomings are still there, that debit or that responsibility I will take as leader of the team on my own shoulder. With this note, that we have a commitment, we are passionate about what we undertake. So for passionate people, one of the greatest poet of his time, Bashir Badr, said that आंखों में रहा दिल में उतर कर नहीं देखा, आंखों में रहा दिल में उतर कर नहीं देखा, कश्ती के मुसाफिर ने कभी समंदर नहीं देखा, आंखों में रहा दिल में उतर कर नहीं देखा, कश्ती के मुसाफिर ने कभी समंदर नहीं देखा, जब से चला हूं मंजिल पे नजर है मेरी, जब से चला हूं मंजिल पे नजर है मेरी, राह में कभी मुड़कर मील का पत्थर नहीं देखा. ये हमारी पंचलाइन है, यही हमारे पैशन की डेफिनेशन है. इसी पैशन के साथ हम अपने काम को आगे बढ़ाते रहेंगे, और बढ़ाते हुए हमें पता है कि वॉट एवर वी आर डूइंग, द पर्पस ऑफ एवरीथिंग इज टू ब्रिंग लाइट फ्रॉम डार्कनेस. The purpose of everything is to bring every one of us into knowledge arena from the ignorance arena, and for which the great poet has said, "Ujale apni aankhon mein महफूज कर लो." Ujale apni aankhon mein महफूज कर लो means keep power of knowledge as integral part of your day-to-day personality. उजाले अपनी आंखों में महफूज कर लो, बड़ी दूर तक रात ही रात होगी, मुसाफिर हो तुम भी, मुसाफिर हैं हम भी, किसी मोड़ पे फिर मुलाकात होगी. Thank you so much. At the end, I would like to pay my deep gratitude to all the guests who have joined me here on my personal request or who are as part of this online session. But according to me, this hybrid model will continue in coming years as well. So thank you so much. Wish you all the best. And to all my authors, those who are here, those who will be, those who are online and will be joining in coming 2 days from different parts of the country and abroad, let's make this INDIACom platform a most productive, useful platform, because that will serve the purpose. How good were the speakers? How good were the organizations? How good were and seamlessly everything were conducted? If at the end there is no takeaway, probably the purpose of such events will be lost. So let's make this fruitful, interact with the people. Now online mechanisms are also a mechanism of best possible mechanism for interaction, and make this platform as useful as possible. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. INDIACom feels honored to have amongst us online Professor Ata Atun, Cyprus Science University, Cyprus, Turkey. Sir is a professor of civil engineer and associate professor of international relations. He is the Dean of Faculty of Engineering of Cyprus Science University, founder of Samte Foundation, supporting people in need of help, author of 53 books, and international columnist of political science. He was the political advisor to the first and third presidents, to the state, and to the fifth president currently incumbent. INDIACom welcomes Sir with an e-bouquet. We welcome you, sir.
Dear Honorable Chairpersons of Conference, Professor Agrawal, Conference General Chair Professor Yamin, Director of Professor Oda, distinguished representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. I would like to thank my dear friends and colleagues, Conference General Chair Professor Yamin and Professor Hoda, for inviting me to this very significant conference. I am pleased to be with you for the second time at this 17th INDIACom 2023 10th International Conference on Information Engineering and Management. Based on my years of academic and on-site experience, I'd like to touch on sustainability and relationship between information technology and sustainability. What is sustainability? In all fields and applications, sustainability means living a livable world with sustainable ecological, economic, and social conditions for future generations. In encyclopedias, it means retaining a state of permanence while ensuring the continuity of diversity and productivity. Sustainable development means addressing social and environmental issues with the same sensitivity as economic growth. Sustainability, which has three different legs, environmental, social, and economic, needs to be managed in a very comprehensive and technical way. In human-dominated ecological systems, there are always issues of crisis and solutions to sustainability arising from increased demand, consumption, and limited resources. Sustainability is built on three basic components, which include environmental, economic, and social dimensions. The triangle of sustainable development containing these components was discussed for the first time at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Brazil in 1992, 5 years after our Common Future report was released. According to this, the fact that something is sustainable was explained by the necessity that it must also be economically developable. Therefore, while sustainability focuses on the efficient use of resources in the long term, it also says that the ecological balance in actions and activities should be maintained. In order for a society to be socially sustainable, equality, diversity, inclusiveness, the principle of life, and democracy are all essential. In summary, all these components, which are listed as environmental, economic, and social, are of equal importance. They are related to each other, and the sustainability of each of them depends on each other. In order to leave a livable world to future generations, all these concepts should be considered together. I would like to touch to the relation between sustainability and information technology as well. Information technology, shortly IT, is the use of any computer, storage, network, or other physical devices, infrastructure, and process to create, process, store, secure, and modify all kinds of electronic data, and covers four main categories. Equipment. These are equipment used for collection, storage, and processing of information. Hardware. These are technological systems used for collection, storage, and processing of information. Software. It is one of the most significant structures of technological devices used for collection, storage, and processing of information. Service. It is the category in which storage and presentation activities are mostly provided. Sustainable or green IT is a term used to describe the production, management, use, and disposal of information technology products in a way that minimizes damage to the environment. Sustainability has been on the agenda for a long time, but it has shown its impact in almost every field in the recent years and will continue to do so. It is not out of question that information technologies, which are directly linked to the development of new technologies that will contribute to sustainability in every field, will not be affected by this orientation. A certain amount of energy is consumed by every search on the internet, every email sent, and every online meeting. Using blockchain technology to produce Bitcoin like cryptocurrencies can result in much higher energy consumption. In this respect, the use of IT products inevitably leads to environmental impacts. From the production to the disposal of technology products, greenhouse gas emissions are also significant. Therefore, IT tools that make life and work easier are factors that should be taken under the lens in the search of sustainability. Some companies ignore the importance of being decently sustainable in information technologies. A laptop computer causes an average of 316 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions during the process from the extraction of the relevant mines to the manufacture of the machine. Again, 190,000 liters of water and 1.2 tons of raw materials are used per laptop to complete the same process. From production to disposal, there are striking results when the entire life cycle is taken into account. This is exactly why institutions and companies should question whether these are energy efficient products when purchasing desktop or laptop computers. At the same time, they should integrate the principles of sustainability in information technologies into their purchasing and operational policies in create roadmaps for sustainable information technology strategies. Electronic waste is almost the fastest deteriorating waste in the world. In 2019, 53.6 million electronic wastes are generated, an increase of 21% in the last 5 years. Some of the electronic waste is separated in hazardous, some of it as valuable, and some of it as recyclable materials. Since the separation of electronic waste is not economically profitable enough in developed countries where manpower is relatively more valuable, this type of waste is usually exported to less developed countries by illegal means. In less developed countries, electronic waste disposal is carried out with less technological methods, and there is a higher negative environmental impact due to relatively weak regulations. In addition, the chemicals used also affect the health of people working in the sector. It is expected that the carbon footprint of institutions due to information technologies will be equivalent to the annual electricity use of 463 million vehicles or 256 million homes by 2025. Therefore, institutions and companies need to take measures from a sustainability perspective in their operations and data centers. It is critical to evaluate options such as arrangements where cooling systems can work in the most efficient way in data centers, adequate cooling instead of excessive cooling, using energy efficient power sources, and using cloud technologies whenever possible. Employees can also create a positive effect by configuring the sleep mode of the computers and monitors they use for short periods of time. I thank you all for listening me. I again thank you, my dear friends and colleagues, Conference General Chair Professor Yamin and Professor Huda, for inviting me to this great conference. Thank you all.
INDIACom is very thankful to Sir to impart gathering his words. Despite such a difficult time, Sir, you have managed to spare time for all of us. We wish you all the best for such a difficult time and hope for the recovery soon. I now request Huda Sir to felicitate Sir with an e-certificate.
Thank you very much.
I now request Sir to felicitate Sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation from INDIACom.
Electronic sustainability.
Thank you very much.
Memento.
Thank you, Sir.
Oh, very good.
INDIACom feels honored to have online with us Professor George Halikias, University of Athens, Athens, Greece. Sir has completed his engineering science degree from Oxford University and PhD in electronic and electrical engineering from Imperial College, London. He has worked at Imperial College, the University of Leeds, and the City University of London. He is currently director of the Center of Computational and Applied Mathematics at the University of Athens. His main research interests are in the systems theory, robust and optimal control, cooperative control over networks, AI, and control applications in physical, economics, and energy systems. He has published extensively in these areas and has supervised 15 PhD students to completion. His research has been supported by the European Union and the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, the Department of Trade and Industry, and the private industry. He is fellow of the Institute of Mathematics and its Applications and a member of Executive Committee of UK Automatic Control Council. He has acted as Director of Research Center of Systems and Control at City Director of the MSc Program in Control Systems and the MSc Program in Project Management, Finance and Risk. He has served on the program committee of several UK and international conferences and the scientific evaluator and the Swiss National Science Foundation. BVACam welcome you, sir, with an e-bouquet.
Very much.
We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. So thank you very much, and also for your kind words. I'm now located in Athens, Greece, so my greetings from over here, and my best wishes to everybody involved with the conference, to all the organizers, all the participants, and to all colleagues and friends. I'm very honored to be invited to INDIACom and to be associated with this prestigious conference. I will try to say very few words on the topic of energy sustainability, mostly in relation to my own research, which is in the area of systems and control engineering. So let me try to define first what is sustainable development. If you look at the dictionary, you will find that the term is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So the definition suggests that we need to balance present consumption of natural resources against those of future generations. And that means that we have to sacrifice something today to benefit something tomorrow in the future. And from a technical point of view, this is also the idea behind dynamic optimization. In other words, our actions at present constrain our choices, our prospects, our options in the future. I will say very few words about my own background and my own research interests. By training, I'm an electrical engineer, and my main research is in the area of robust and optimal control, risk, and energy sustainability. The main idea of control is to modify the dynamic characteristics of a system, of a dynamic system, by taking corrective action based on the system's responses. And the term robust, in the definition of robust control, means that we have to take seriously the effects of uncertainty, both in the mathematical model of the system that we're trying to control, and also from our perception of reality that comes from exogenous signals like disturbances or sensor noise, in general from the measurements. In terms of energy sustainability, the targets of climate change are very challenging. The overall target is climate neutrality by 2050. And this is supposed to be achieved via intermediate targets of 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions relative to 1990 levels. Also, a minimum share of 32% for renewable energy and improvements in energy efficiency of at least 32%. Meeting these targets is very challenging and requires increased penetration of renewables in the energy mix and the development of new energy efficient infrastructures. Now, of course, especially as recent events indicate, planned transition to climate neutrality is not a linear process and can be severely affected by global economic and political events. Sustainability policies to achieve neutrality can only succeed if new technologies emerge, which are supported by a wide range of computing and IT applications. These include the following three categories, to which I will now briefly refer. The first category involves the development of modeling and simulation tools, which are capable to handle complex information. And this, by necessity, necessitates the use of tools of artificial intelligence and machine learning, big data analytics, data mining, etc. All these methods represent recent advances in information sciences and require well-designed and sophisticated software platforms for the practical implementation. Let me say at this point a few words on some modeling work which I have been carrying out in conjunction with colleagues at City University in London and Athens University, in which I'm now based. This work involves the development of multi-period energy mix optimization models with technical constraints, terminal constraints, the net zero emission target of 2050. In this approach, energy planning is formulated as a portfolio investment optimization problem under constraints of costs and risk. Risk may be either economic or financial in nature. For example, it can represent the uncertain costs in the future of renewables, or it could arise from the over-reliance on a specific energy source or on a particular technology. Our approach in this work is based on the formulation and solution of a dynamic programming optimization problem over time. One of the advantages of this approach is that it allows us to take corrective action if immediate targets are not met, for example, due to unexpected economic or political events. The work is motivated by model predictive control and is capable to self-adapt the optimal policies in real time as uncertainty is progressively revealed as time goes on. And this is analogous to portfolio rebalancing in financial engineering, from which the approach has been motivated. Let me move on to the second area of applications, which involves design and energy efficiency. This typically requires the extensive use of embedded sensors and the application of advanced information and communication technologies. Our work in this area has been supported by the European Union, using via two projects in district heating and cooling. There's a lot of research activities in the European Union in this particular area, and because district cooling and heating plants generate heat at a decentralized location, for example, in a cogeneration plant, and this is distributed to residential and commercial buildings in the district, in the neighborhood, through a network of insulated pipes. New generation district heating systems, which are currently under development, rely extensively on information technology. Their operation relies on a central energy management system, which is supported by advanced algorithms, which forecast future energy demand and optimize heat production. A third area, the final area that I will mention, of computer applications, is smart grid technology.
চলে গেল না তোর তরফ থেকে তুই বোধহয় চিপে দিয়েছিস ওটা হোল্ড হয়ে গেছিল
Smart grids are complex cyber-physical systems which rely on intelligent monitoring, control, and communication technologies. IT applications associated with this technology includes, among others, smart metering, sensor data fusion, big data analytics, security and privacy, blockchain for energy trading, and many others. Also, being online, a smart grid is vulnerable to cyber attacks and needs to be protected by cybersecurity programs, cybersecurity software, which adds another layer of complexity to applications. To support application work, many theoretical developments have recently taken place. And in the area of control, I will just mention three without going into the details. These include the shift from centralized control solutions to decentralized control and distributed control. A second important development is the emergence of cooperative network control. And finally, I should mention the increased interest in data-driven systems and intelligent control, which do not rely on mathematical models, but are to some extent or to most extent entirely data-driven and rely more on artificial intelligence and machine learning as a substitute of fixed parameter controllers that are tuned online. Okay, so these are I just wanted to mention these three theoretical developments, and all these are basically try to meet the challenges of the emerging technologies and the emerging theoretical needs of control systems that are difficult, large scale, and correspond to the needs of these new applications. Let me conclude, and basically the conclusion I would like to draw is that the computing and information technology is indispensable for the success of energy sustainable policies. And apart from the technical solutions that they provide, they also demonstrate that there are alternatives to the present development model, which are both feasible and practical. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much again for your attention. And I'm looking forward to a successful and productive INDIACom conference this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such great words. I now request Professor Emin Huda to facilitate sir with an e-certificate.
Thank you very much.
I now
Thank you.
request sir to facilitate sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
I welcome Professor A.K. Saini, Conference Chair, INDIACom 2023, Vice President, the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, New Delhi, and Dean, GDSIP University, New Delhi, to INDIACom inauguration. We have amongst us Professor Tom Gaydon, Optus Chair in Artificial Intelligence, Curtin University, Perth, Australia. Sir holds the Optus Chair in AI, is Director of the Optus Centre of AI at Curtin University in Perth, Western Australia. Prior to this, he was Professor of Computer Science and former Deputy Dean of the College of Engineering and Computer Science at the Australian National University in Canberra. He gained his BSc and PhD from the University of Western Australia. Sir, main research area is responsive and responsible AI, underpinned by edge computing efficient AI. His focus is on the development of automated systems for information extraction from physiological and other data, and for the synthesis of the extracted information into humanly useful information resources, primarily using neural networks and deep learning. PVICom warmly welcomes Sir with an e-bouquet. We welcome you, sir, for the invite. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Modern technology. Thank you very much for the wonderful invite to this excellent conference. I look forward to a very successful INDIACom this year. I had the great pleasure some years ago, prior to COVID, to physically attending. It was a very interesting and rewarding experience. I have listened to George's words before me with a great deal of interest, and of course, the previous speaker also. I have a somewhat more specific presentation to share with you, and I will share my slides, if you will bear with me for just 1 second. Sorry, share slides. Screen. So thank you very much. I hope you can see my slides. So Curtin University is located in Perth, Western Australia. And what I would like to talk to you about is sustainable computing in the Optus Centre for AI. And within that overall topic, I want to talk about the convergence of HCI, human-computer interaction, and AI, artificial intelligence. I hope you will bear with me through a few slides, and at the end, you will see how I link some of the work we are doing, and I encourage others to do such work, how it can link to the overall topic of sustainability and computing. Brief slide about myself. What I'm interested in is human-centered computing tools, particularly interested in sensors, particularly on people. My center and my chair has the word Optus in front of it. Optus is one of Australia's top 2 telcos, and so I have this slide to show you kind of roughly how the difference exists between the research areas of my center, the Centre for AI, and a telecommunications company. So the green parts of this picture are from Optus's 5G vision, whereas the red oval roughly indicates the kinds of areas that we are interested in. But I promised to talk about the convergence of HCI and AI. I think the future of human-computer interaction is in AI. In the past, as computer scientists, we might develop interfaces and test where a particular button will go. But these days, people are demanding more from interfaces, more intelligent behavior, which often could and really should include AI tools, and often should include AI tools looking at the person using the tool. If 2 people talk to each other, so if I ask one of you asks me a question and we're talking, and I start answering the wrong question, I can see from your face, after only 2 or 3 words, oh, I got the question wrong. I can switch to the next answer. And we can have a really good conversation. Whereas if you ask the question from a current AI tool, and it's giving the wrong answer, you're sitting here trying to hit Control-C, stop. That's wrong. That's not very responsive to the user. But at the same time, I also believe that the future of AI is in human-computer interaction. If we want to provide AI tools which are actually useful for people and in the real world, we need, again, to take the person into account. So if AI and HCI over here are overlapping, and I think this overlap is getting bigger, where it overlaps with real-world needs is in fact the very most important area. This convergence of AI and HCI I call responsive AI, where we use sensor data from people and we can predict human subtle internal states such as stress, doubt, depression, boredom. As a student, wouldn't you like it if your lecturer could see that 2/3 of you are bored? It means he should speed up a little. On the other hand, if that system should also recognize if 2/3 of you are going, oh, I don't, feeling like you don't understand, but you're too polite to say something, maybe from your facial expression or the way you hold your body, the AI could tell the lecturer, slow down a bit. You are maybe have too much maths on that slide. Yeah. Or if it was a maths class, too little maths. Yeah. So these are the two areas I mentioned. Sorry, and I mentioned responsive AI, but the problem is if we're measuring using sensors on people, we can breach people's privacy. So responsible AI is a privacy by design approach to control personal and private data. Notice I didn't say secure. I think the data has to be secure, but it has to be more than secure. It has to be private. Okay? But to do some of this, we need efficient and often edge computing AI. I've got on this slide at the bottom a few other areas we're interested in, but what I'd really like to do is to go on. So this is the website of my center. Please look at tinyurl.com/optusai, and it will take you to the website. And there are a few suggested videos that you might want to watch. We've had good results using these approaches. We have state-of-the-art results in text readability and concept level. That is, if we have a person who's reading a text, with an AI, we can usually get a better estimate of the concept level or of the readability level of the text than the person can themselves. This may seem surprising, but often there is so much going on in our heads when we click buttons on screen, we don't pay as much attention. So this is why AI measures, sensor measures on people can often do better. We have fantastic results on emotion veracity, on personality features. We've actually shown that you can, 20 minutes on a driving simulator will allow you to extract enough information from a person to predict their personality. Huge potential benefit to society. For example, you could estimate the likelihood of somebody having depression just from the way they drive in a driving simulator. Of course, you know, given the traffic in Delhi, I'm surprised that, you know, anyway. Again, like I say, potential to breach privacy. So we have some solutions to that. Here is one simple one. I think you will agree that it's clear that what we see there is a purse snatching, somebody stealing. but we don't know the identity of the people. This is a very simple way of protecting privacy. That do we really need to see who is the thief and who is the person who was stolen from to recognize that something illegal has taken place? No, we don't. Of course, we could go a lot further. We have done work like this with skeletonization. The next step in our work will be to use deep fakes, where you replace the face so you can still see the facial expressions, but not the person concerned. So, going to the next slide. This is my last slide. What I would really like to do is to use these techniques to improve human recognition, augment people's capabilities. We could train super recognizers. We could train somebody who could walk through a shop or just walk down the street and recognize, you have a cold, you have the flu, you have COVID, okay? At the moment, there is nobody who can do that. But it is possible that with this sort of technology, we could teach somebody. There are all sorts of ways this could work, but the two I want to raise is empathy in a teleconference or engagement in teleconferencing. Presenting like this, there is no way as good as being in person. But in principle, we should be able to create teleconferencing setups which are as good as the real thing. If we can do that, and my kind of work with sensors on people is leading to that. If we can do that, we can reduce significant carbon emissions, because maybe many people who travel for business, who fly business class and sit at the pointy end of the plane and use up much more carbon, will not need to travel. Thank you very much. Just trying to figure out how to stop sharing. Thank you. So I appreciate your listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the great words. I request Huda, sir, to felicitate sir with an e-certificate. I again request sir to felicitate sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. For the next invited talk, BVICam gladly announces Dr. Yasir Adis, Greenwich University, London. He's an acclaimed, distinguished researcher from London. I invite sir to impart gathering. BVICam welcomes sir with an e-bouquet. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the invite. Thanks to Professor Hoda and Professor Yamin for giving me another opportunity to speak to you at this distinguished conference. I want to just go back to a theme that I had discussed in a previous conference, and that is the problem that we often, as IT specialists, we often support the construction of highly unsustainable information systems. And we are often unaware of the fact that we are contributing in quite destructive, unsustainable systems. We simply don't have the analytical tools to recognize that the underlying information system that we are supporting is itself highly unsustainable. So often the sustainability in computing begins at the very early stage in the requirements analysis stage and trying to understand what is this system that we're automating does. A very good example is the international monetary system. This is an area where there's a lot of automation. Vast number of people in the IT industry are actually involved in the information systems and the banking systems. Yet the system is highly unstable. We discover its unsustainability when we look at the semantics. We find that it's a system that depends heavily on continuous debit accumulation, and that if at any time this debit accumulation stops or is reduced, the whole system collapses. And of course, we can't keep on creating debit indefinitely. So at some point in time, we can no longer kick the can down the road, and we start to have banking failures, and even not just banking failures, but you also have sovereign failures where entire countries go bankrupt, and it causes tremendous pain, massive concentration of wealth in the hands of a few. And it's all to do with the fact that we're unable, we as technologists, we don't understand that these systems are so unstable. We don't understand about the semantic. When we do a careful analysis, and particularly when we use semantic analysis, we can realize that these numbers that are being generated, for example, for the pricing of commodities and the pricing of stocks, are no longer related to reality. They're all fake numbers. We use computers to do it, but it doesn't help. It doesn't make that, use of computers doesn't help us to make these systems real, make them connected to reality. We're beginning to see this now in the United States with one bank failure after another. But even if this particular financial event is papered over and it's sort of moved on, it still doesn't solve the underlying problem. You'll still have a major problem with the unsustainability of the existing financial system. So one of the, I said at the beginning that the problem we have is that we don't have analytical tools widely available to help us recognize whether the system we are automating is in fact sustainable or not. The exception to this is the work that was done by Professor Ronald Stamper with the development of the semantic normal form. This is an analytical tool that allows us to understand how the numbers, the signs that we have on our computers are connected to reality. When we do the analysis for financial systems and how money is created, we realize that this is not a system that's sustainable because the numbers don't connect to reality. We see this today in the stock market where the economy is going down, but the real economy is going down, but Wall Street and the stock values are going up, making no sense. And the reason is it's a completely fake market. Okay, so we're using computers. We're using computers very efficiently, but we're not using computers in a way to support our sustainable systems. Really, that's all I wanted to mention to you, that we need to be aware of the fact that whether we're building a sustainable, when we're building information systems, we need to be careful about the underlying system that we're supporting, whether it is itself sustainable or not. We could use computers to make very efficient, unsustainable systems. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, sir, for the great words. I now request Professor Emin Huda to felicitate sir with an e-certificate.
Thank you.
I again request sir to felicitate sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation from BVI Camp.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For the next invited talk, we have amongst us Dr. Awad Saleh Al-Harbi, Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia, a renowned acclaimed distinguished researcher from Saudi Arabia. We welcome sir with an e-bouquet. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you for your invite.
I invite sir to impart gathering with his great words.
Thank you. Dear Professor Huda, Professor Agrawal, Professor Helikas, Professor Yamin, Professor Ata, Taatun, honorable guest, researcher and student. It's my pleasure to be part of INDIACom 2023. I consider myself fortunate that I'm a part of the 17th anniversary of INDIACom, and that I have never missed any INDIACom events for the last 5 years. Unfortunately, this year I can't travel to New Delhi as I have just come back last night from holiday in Europe. Role of IT has been massive in treating and managing COVID-19 patient and environment. Although the pandemic has reduced, but it has left behind a lot of damage behind, in addition of million of deaths. Also, many businesses have damaged. Travel still not normal. The worth of all this is the breach of in the supply chain of essential commodities. Many people, as we see, many people are finding it difficult to find food, to find enough food. Also, most cars have a waiting list of 2 years or more. The list goes on. Let's hope that the pandemic doesn't return back again. Finally, my best wishes will remain with the organizer of INDIACom. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
We thank you, sir, for the great words. I now request Professor Emin Huda to felicitate sir with an e-certificate.
Thank you.
I again request sir to felicitate sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation from BVI-CAM.
Thank you very much.
For the next invited talk, we have Dr. Mishal Mofle Al-Mutari, Buraida College of Technology, Saudi Arabia. Sir is associated with Buraida Technical College. Earlier, he was the head of the Computer Science Department of the college from 2009 to 2014. He has been a supervisor and consultant to many local authorities and companies in Saudi Arabia. He is founding member of the Technical Society Association headed by Prince Faisal bin Mishal bin Saud. Sir is the technology sector and has won many research awards. We welcome sir with an e-bouquet.
Thank you.
We welcome sir for the invited talk.
Thank you. Professor Huda, Professor Yamin, Professor Agregol, Professor George, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all our audience joining us online from around the world. I am pleased to welcome you all in this evening. First of all, I would like to extend my appreciation to the DERA organizations for inviting me to this highly regarded event and giving me a floor speak. It's both a responsibility and an honor to speak in such noble event. Ladies and gentlemen, during the last 17 editions of INDIAComs, from India 2007 to INDIACom 2023, a lot of achievements has been seen and achieved since inceptions in the year 2007. INDIACom has aimed and developed a strategic plan for balanced growth of nations' economy through IT in critical areas like e-governance, e-commerce, disaster management, GIS, and nanotechnology, AI, and expert systems, networking, software engineering, and other emerging technologies. At the present meeting, I believe that some of the most important topics for information technology to consider and will discuss. Also, the exchange of information and views during the meeting. Thank you again, and I wish us all of the success for this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the great words. I request Professor Emin Huda to felicitate sir with an e-certificate.
Thank you.
I again request sir to felicitate sir with an e-memento as a token of appreciation from BVI-CAM.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining, sir. Thank you for the great words.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Some other guests are trying to join. By the time we'll go on to the next thing, we'll release the proceeding of INDIACom. Encouraged by the resounding success of past 16 editions of INDIACom since its inception in 2007, INDIACom 2023 was announced as the 17th edition of its annual series at international level, under technical sponsorship of IEEE Delhi section, with the permission to submit and possible publication and indexing. Over 1,000 papers authored by over 2,800 authors from all over the world were received till the last date, thereby making the job of the technical program committee extremely difficult. Based upon an initial scrutiny, 614 papers were found worth consideration for detailed technical review. After a series of tough review exercises by a team of over 600 experts, 337 papers authored from over 700 authors from different parts of the country and abroad were recommended to be accepted for presenting in INDIACom 2023 during the 3 days under different parallel tracks. Out of the accepted papers, a chosen set of 44 papers were recommended to be published in the hard copy with ISSN and ISBN serials, which is being released today. Further, all the accepted papers have been published in the soft copy of the pre-conference proceedings with ISSN and ISBN serial. All the papers will be presented during the 3 days and shall be submitted to IEEE Explore. I now request all the eminent dignitaries to release the proceedings INDIACom 2023. I also request Dr. Sunil and Dr. Vishali to come on the stage and release the proceeding. The compilation of this work has been made possible through our website. This is the homepage of INDIACom serving its author with plethora of research articles. As we scroll down, we can see the proceedings of INDIACom. And when we click for the scroll, we can see the proceedings of INDIACom 2023. We can click on for the link for the INDIACom. Yes, this is the home page of INDIACom 2023, where we can view papers by clicking in papers. We can view our electoral board by clicking under committee. We are privileged to have most of the editorial board members amongst us today as part of this auspicious gathering. Thank you. It's a matter of great privilege for me to unveil you the volume 15, number 2 of Institute's International Journal of Information Technology, published by Springer Nature from Singapore and indexed at Scopus with latest site score of 3.5. The issue is live on the Springer content platform, Springer link, and available to the prospective readers through Springer CS package globally. Current research has expanded volumes as well as dimensions in amongst all fields of human endeavor. Applications of information technology have successfully been applied in almost every field. Volume 15, number 2, presents a compilation of 50 papers. These manuscripts span a broad variety of topics from various emerging areas of information technology, computer science, especially addressing current research problem related to transfer learning, image classification, robust resource provisioning, weather forecast, assemble learning, healthcare, IoT applications, to name a few. I now request all eminent dignitaries and Dr. Ritika to come forward and release Volume 15, number 2 issue of Budget. Thank you, sir. Keeping in view the recommendation of NEP 2020 of undertaking multidisciplinary research and continuing with a resolve to consistently showcase and disseminate novel research capable of altering the quality of human life, we with pride uncover International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies, IJRMS, an official publication of Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, published biannually by the Institution of Media Professionals, IMP. I request our distinguished panelists to kindly release the cover page of the same. I request Dr. Rakhi to come for the same forward. I now request eminent dignitaries for the release of the web portal of newly proposed International Journal of Research in Multidisciplinary Studies having ISSN 09735658. This is the home page of IJRMS, serving its author with plethora of research articles in future. As we scroll down, we see the complete information of Journal of the coming soon. And when we click for call for papers, we can scroll and see the domains on which the paper can be submitted. We can view our editorial board by clicking under organizers. We are very privileged to have most of the editorial board members amongst us today on this auspicious gathering. Thank you. I feel privileged to unveil Bharti Times, a weekly news digest and initiative of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of INDIACom, New Delhi. With this, I now request all the eminent dignitaries and Ms. Priyanka to release Bharti Times. We are very glad. The next invited talk by Dr. George Siramisis. He has joined us online. Sir is from Higher College of Technology, United Arab Emirates. Sir is a distinguished researcher. We welcome Sir with an e-bouquet.
Thank you so much. Am
I
I
invite
audible?
Sir to gather, to impart the gathering with his great words.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Okay, thank you so much all for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be among friends. Unfortunately, this year I couldn't manage to be there physically, but it's a promise that next year I will try my very, very best to physically actually be with you. It's an amazing gathering. We do it every year, and I would like to thank Professor Hoda and Professor Yamin, and for the invitation and for their efforts in organizing this very difficult but very successful and very rewarding event. This year's event follows the theme from last year on sustainability. And sustainability, of course, cannot be achieved without great effort from the IT side. So I prepared a 5 minute presentation on some views based on the experiences that we have in terms of applying IT to sustainability and how actually this can be misused and a lot of trouble, as we will see in a minute. So I will try to share my screen. I hope you can hear me because I have no feedback right now. So I hope it doesn't, I have no permission to share content, unfortunately, Ritika, or? Can you give me permission to share, please? Okay. All right. So I think I have permission to share. Let me try to share my screen. Okay. So, sorry, I have a lot of menus here. I cannot see what's happening. All right. So let's start. So I will not, just this is just something to give some food basically for thinking to the event. Sorry, I have a lot of windows appearing right and left. Okay, so how computers to generate unsustainable. I know that the conference is about sustainability, but we are actually using computers to generate an unsustainable business process, an unsustainable bureaucracy. So I'm just going to give just a quick keynote topic for some food, basically, as I'm saying, so we can have something to discuss later on in the conference. So traditionally speaking, we used to say in the companies back in London that we want to use computers to eliminate bureaucracy, to automate, right, organizations, to make them high performers, as we used to say back in the city of London. So basically, then people start saying from LSE, London School of Economics, they came back to us and start saying, you know what, why you want to eliminate bureaucracy? Actually, there are a lot of good points of bureaucracy. For example, bureaucracy sets, it's a set of formal rules. Bureaucracy tends to promote fairness. Bureaucracy can be the shield of the employee against the management, basically. And above all, bureaucracies in general tend to promote best practices. Of course, we have the traditional bad point of bureaucracy. So bureaucracies tend to have extensive rules and policies. Bureaucracies, of course, minimize freedoms of staff, which leads to lack of creativity. If I have to take 10 permissions to do something, simply I'm not going to do it. Bureaucracies can be sources of inefficiency. If left unchecked, they can develop and they can create an unsustainable working environment. And to take it a step further, it can even lead to an unsustainable society as a whole. I mean, since 1996, this is a paper. I was inspired by this paper actually since back on 1996, and it was one of the reasons why I became a computer scientist. So we started saying, let computers be the bureaucrats. So you know what? Keep bureaucracy. Let's keep the good things of bureaucracy, but let the computer automate all the tasks. Let the computer do everything. And starting from early 2000 until pretty much, especially during COVID, we really speed up the process for at least 10, 20 years. So how do we use the computers to minimize the bureaucracy? Okay, we are automating tasks, right? We make our priorities clear. By the way, we're talking about the unnecessary bureaucracy. So we have to make the priorities clear. We eliminate unnecessary paperwork and we digitalize the rest. Office and workload automation. So these are the three pillars of minimizing or reducing unwanted bureaucracy. However, and from personal experience, and from the literature, I start to realize that actually we are doing it all wrong. Actually, we end up using computers to generate more bureaucracy, to strike on sustainability, and creating unsustainable workflows in unsustainable companies leading to an unsustainable society as a whole. No matter what development we do in the areas of smart building, smart energy, smart whatever, if our workflows are unsustainable, if we use technology in the wrong way, then we end up in an unsustainable solution. And we can have a discussion about this over the whole event, but I'm just going to mention 3 points just to give some initial food, as I said, to the discussions that will follow during this amazing event later on about sustainability. For example, let's say that, and you all experience that. I'm sure all of us as academics have experienced that. During the COVID, we started using learning environments like Blackboard, for example, and many others. Now, these environments are capable of gathering mass amount of data. They are information greedy systems, as I always say. Okay, they gather all this vast amount of data for the just in case scenario. Now, managers, when they have access to such data, they tend to be, usually they're tempted. And they say, you know what, since I have access to this data, why I don't ask my staff to also do that, to also do the other? End up creating a lot of additional load that otherwise it wouldn't be there. And that's not the only one. In many cases, we are actually using the traditional paper-based system, form-based system, this tedious form-based system, and we try to use it in the context of a digital system. I mean, many times, and I'm sure we all been there, okay, there is a paper-based form that traditionally, if there were no computers, if we teleport back to the 90s or something, I just have to go there, fill the form, submit it, and I'm done. Instead of that, now I have to go find the form through thousands of emails, or after maybe 10, 20 clicks on a website with vast amounts of information. I have to download the form, print it out on a paper, fill it by my hand, or at least sign it by my hand, scan it, email it back so the other person can actually print it and archive it or file it to the system. So basically, we have, using computers, we now have at least 3 times the workload that we had with the traditional paper-based systems. So we are actually using the computers to generate bureaucracy. And I mean, again, I'm just going to mention one more point. This shift to the so-called technology, and I know I'm, reaching my time limit. I'm going to be brief, just one slide left. So this shift, this technology shift also will lead to a personnel shift. So some people will become managers of the system. And simply because they have to show that they're actually doing something, again, they're generating new workflows that are not supposed to be there in the first place. And it looks like, because of this information, we are shifting the focus from the core business and what actually matters to things that do not really matter. I mean, we are taking amazing technologies such as ChatGPT and many other amazing technologies and automation tools, and instead of using them to make our life easier, okay, we end up making our life more miserable, and we have to do more work to support these tools in a bureaucratic way as clerks, by doing data gathering for the tool, by preparing the data sets for the tool, by manually labeling the data set for the tool so the tool can work. So we end up doing medical work, okay, with this tool, more bureaucratic work, more unsustainable bureaucratic work that we will have done without the tools. So just to close on a positive note, modern information systems and automation tools are the only way towards a sustainable business process, a sustainable organization, and a sustainable society. However, the organization should focus on what actually matters and do not try or overexpand, overestimating the capabilities of the organization and of the tools. Try to do what you were doing before faster, rather than say, you know what, I have this tool, let me do another 10 things, even if they're not my core business. Losing the focus and end up doing everything very bad, end up creating something that is unsustainable. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the chance to give some feedback to the event. And I'm sure that this is a very important topic, and we will have a lot of future discussions in the sessions to follow. Thank you so much.
Moving on, INDIACom family feels truly honored to have amongst us Professor A.K. Nayak, former President, Computer Society of India. He is the founder secretary of Computer Society of India Patna chapter, worked as director of Instructional Material Development Center at IIBM for preparation of instructional material in computer science and IT for DOE. He has more than 30 years of experience in teaching, training, research, and administration in the field of computer science, technology, and management. We would now request Sir to impart the gathering with his great words.
Thank you very much, Parul Ma'am, for inviting me to the stage to speak on the occasion. Very good evening to all of you. Honorable President of the today's auspicious occasion, that is the 17th INDIACom and 10th International Conference on Computing for Sustainable Global Development, our mentor, our guide, and our fatherly-like person, Honorable Professor K.K. Agrawal Sahib. The chief guest on this occasion, Honorable Arvind Gupta ji, the respected Director General of Software Technology Park of India, Government of India. The guest of honor today on this occasion on the dais, Dr. Ajay Gupta ji, the Director Research of Indian Council for Social Science Research. All the dignitaries from abroad who participated on online as the guest of honor for delivering their keynote address or invited speech. The founder and real architect and hero of the 17 INDIACom and 10 International Conference and the center point of everything, my beloved younger brother, Professor M.N. Hoda, the vibrant director of this great institute, Bharati Vidyapith Institute of Computer Applications and Management, and the general chair of this great event, as well as the executive vice president of IET, Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, my beloved younger brother, Dr. A.K. Saini, the former President of Computer Society of India, as well as the Vice President of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineer, and the Dean of the Indraprastha University, my beloved younger brother, Dr. R.K. Bas, from the Delhi University and former National President of Computer Society of India, other beloved younger brothers who are sitting on the of the dais in front row, and with whom I have got the opportunity to work as a core team of the Computer Society of India, Dr. Santosh Jadavji, who had worked with me as the National Secretary of Computer Society of India, Dr. Shiv Kumarji, the former NIC Senior Director, who worked as the Executive Member of Computer Society of India in the capacity of the Regional Vice President and many other capacities, Dr. Ashok Singh ji from the Department of Science and Technology, and other invited guest dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, and dearest and nearest student community who are present here. Actually, I have been indebted very much to Bharati Vidyapit because of inviting me every year for my appearance in the inaugural function. It is due to the very strong and deep love of my beloved younger brother, Dr. M.N. Hodaji, who is the really hero of organization of this event. And what can be told regarding his dynamism and able coordinating capacity? He's an able coordinator, administrator, director, as well as a great visionary who always visualize for the future. Imagine the INDIACom is also existing of the 17 year. As he has told, next year it will be 18 year. We'll be getting the right for voting, 18-year voting, and after 3 years it will be 21 year, and will be a marriageable age. And I think he has also opened another wing this year, since last year, the Department of Mass Communication, Journalism and Mass Communication, and having a good number of seats, 120, and I got the knowledge that it will be 240 from the next year. And I get that he's also planning some conference under the international conference under the aegis of the journalism and mass communication. I will suggest him that should be another conference, and when the INDIACom will be achieving the 21 year, there will be the marriage of both the conferences in a year, every year. So that will be very nice. And after attending the 25 year, we'll have the silver jubilee year also. I once again congratulate to him. And the great thing that what is his organizing capability, you see, INDIACom has started with only 89 papers, and it has gone to more than thousands of the papers collection and research papers. That what a great thing. And it has started as a local event, and it has gone to it is going towards the global. As he has told that the parallel INDIACom sessions are being organized at Hyderabad and other places of the country. I do hope and I expect within a couple of years, throughout the country, global, because this is a global conference, and there will be the parallel session at different parts of the world, and where the INDIACom will be celebrating. This great ability only Hoda Sahib is having. And it is not that I am telling, because I always in computer fraternity, and everybody tells that we are the elder brother and younger brother. It is a greatness, and all the people to whom we have worked together, everybody tell me as the elder brother, it is their greatness, Dr. Saini, Dr. Bas, Santosh ji, and Shiv Kumar ji, and we did a lot as far as possible for the computer fraternity and the computer society, particularly in the pandemic period. In the pandemic period of 3 years, we have organized more than thousands of the online sessions, webinars for upgradation of the or ignite of the young mentality, young minds, so far as the computer science and technology concerned. In form of the webinars, seminar, conferences, faculty development program, short-term training program, and different programs that we have done. So I can just compliment to Professor Hoda. Now, हर रात को चांद नसीब होता है, ना हर रात को चांद नसीब होता है, ना हर इंसान को मंजिल प्राप्त होता है, ना हर इंसान को मंजिल प्राप्त होता है, ना हर व्यक्ति एमएन होड़ा होता है, ना हर व्यक्ति एमएन होड़ा होता है, ना भारतीय विद्यापीठ को ऐसा डायरेक्टर का नसीब होता है. So I can compliment him, and it is due to his effort. And you see how many speakers have spoken on the inaugural platform of this conference. Number of speakers from varieties of countries and different continents that they happened because he had that kind of vision to unite the things and to bring all the people to a common platform. That is the thing. And today the dignitaries who have spoken, and definitely the student community who are sitting before us, they must have been benefited. That is the main thing. And within these 3 years, 3 days of the discussion, lot of things will be coming, which is the matter of concern, that computing for the sustainable global development, and lot of things will be coming, and definitely that will be very much beneficial for the younger people. And you will be hearing to many of the dignitaries and many of the learned personality, not only today in the inaugural session, but in next 2 days in their deliberations, in the technical sessions and presentation. And definitely that we will be learning a lot of things. I do remember a great stanza of Bhagavad Gita. It has been written, Jajjada charati shrestha, tattada itare jana, सहजत प्रमाण कुरुते जना तदन वर्तते. मेरा ये बोलने का मतलब स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी को विशेष करके जो महज्जन बोलते हैं, जो विद्वान लोग बोलते हैं, हम आप इसी को अनुसरण करते हैं, इसी को अनुसरण करते हुए वही पथ पे चलते हुए हम आप बड़ा भी बन जाते हैं. That is the very important thing of organization of these kinds of conference. And the theme is so pertinent, and the theme is so valid to this particular time, that is computing from sustainable global development. You must be knowing that the United Nations is also having the plan and having the 17 points, that is for the sustainable development goals. 17 points have been framed through which the total whole world will be achieving the sustainability by 2030. This is the plan. And the number of things have been came. When we are talking of the computing, once upon a time, computing was a very isolated technology, were used by only the scientists and the research persons and other people. But computing today, or information communication technology, is not an isolated subject, rather it is an integrated subject. It is for all, and it is being coming to the use of all. The 17 points that have been kept for the sustainable development of the globe, that is the first point is, there will be no poverty. That is no poverty. Second point is no hunger. Third point is quality education for all. Fourth point is quality health care with wellness. Fifth point is gender equality. Similarly, another point is that quality water with sanitation. The another point is that so affordable energy. Lot of points have been kept. Affordable energy, then work culture and economic growth, then removal and reduction of the inequality, and there will be the innovation, industry innovation and good infrastructure, and that sustainable home and sustainable city, and lot of things have been kept like this. Action on climate, living below the water, the creatures, the different creatures are living below the water. They are also very much environmental point of view and environmental sustainability point of view. That is also very essential. And people's living on the land, and peace and justice. And overall, the 17th point is the collaboration for the development. And these 17 points have been kept. This will be also working at the 17th pillar for the sustainable global development. As you have read, the 9 pillars are there for the digital India. And the computing is having the vital role in each and every aspect. You cannot tell. Today the computer is being considered as the oxygen is being considered for the human being, and it is having the wide applicability. Whatever the application, life application is concerned, computing there. Just 3 days back on today, in the 15th and 13th, I have got an occasion. One faculty development program has been organized at one institute, VNR, Vigyan Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology, with collaboration of the Vikram University, Ujjain, and Oriental University, and the Madhya Pradesh IPS Academy. That theme was that cognitive science. You see, where the lot of new things are coming, cognitive science, and where the simulation of the mind is there, simulating of the minds, and the interaction between the mind and brain, that is the concern of the cognitive science, and where we do integrate the concept of all the things like that might be the artificial intelligence of the computer science, psychology, philosophy, anthropology, education, lot of things are being coming. And what the things and the impact is see, and that is we will have to simulate the brains and simulate the minds of the people. And today we are talking of we have gone from the artificial intelligence, which had been a very old concept, had been an old concept, and artificial intelligence has got developed in 1956, and on the contemporary cognitive science has also been developed. But sometimes what happened, the technology got developed, but it goes to the cold storage because due to the not of that amount of use. Similarly, that things happened in 1956, the first export system developed. But what happened? For many days it has gone into cold storage. But after the voice synthesis and image processing, and particularly after the ICT, information communication technology, integration of the computer, telecommunication and multimedia, and when the data volume has grown exponentially due to the structured, unstructured and semi-structured data, we again remembered artificial intelligence for enhancing the velocity of the data analysis and getting the information in proper time, and it come in the form of the business intelligence. We came from the artificial intelligence to business intelligence to computational intelligence, data intelligence, and now we are at the emotional intelligence, from AI to BI, BI to CI, CI to DI, and DI to EI. Imagine. And now the computing is not an isolated technology. I have told it is an integrated technology where we are imagining everything. By 2030, we are imagining more than 500 billion of the devices will be connected to the internet. But imagine the perhaps no devices in the world which will be unconnected to the internet. So under this aspect, and when I have talked these 17 points of the 17 pillars of the sustainable development, which have been kept as the target by United Nations to achieve the optimal sustainability by 2030, and definitely the computing and information communication technology is having the vital application in all these aspects to make the world as a sustainable world. Not only that, we consider the case of India, and it is very difficult for the Indian context to achieve the sustainability. A country which is having 1.4 billion of the population out of 7.7 billion of the population of the world, it constitutes 17.4% of the population of the world, though it is having 2.7% of the physical area, that is 328 million kilometer square feet area. But imagine the thick population and countries living under the 9 religions, 305,000 castes and creeds, and having the 1.4 billion of the population, and 31% population only in the urban area, whereas 69% people are living in the rural area. My point is that when we are talking of the computation and computing for the sustainability, we'll have to think about the 69% of the people who are living in the rural area. As Mahatma Gandhi has told, the real soul of the India epitomizes in the villages. Unless the villages got developed, that cannot be happen. This country is having 739 districts. This country is having 660,000 plus villages, because Arvindji is sitting here. He might be knowing better because he is a person who is dealing all these things. When the e-governance project and all this project, imagine. The country is having 250,000 plus Gram Panchayats and having 24 crores of the family. And if you want to make the digital literate, if you want to get the optimal benefit of the computation for making the sustainable development of the India, we must have to think how these 24 crores of the families will be getting the benefits of the computing and the ICT. For that reason, the 24 crores of the family is having definitely 24 crores of the mothers. And I must have to give the emphasis, these 24 crores of the mothers should be first digitally literate, then the whole India will be digitally literate, and we can take the optimal benefit of the ICT for making the sustainable development of India. Because I have been given only 10 minutes time, I cannot tell more things, but with these words, I am just telling, so whatever the things might be, then whatever the Hoda Sahib is doing, it is a great effort. That is the sustainable global development. The theme is that, and this is the need of the time. And because this is the need of the time, we can tell there is a sustainable global development through the using of the ICT, when these benefits of the ICT will be available to each and every person living in the remotest corner of the globe, and to fulfill the great stanza of the Bhagavad Gita, Angnijo Paraveti, Swabhava Lagute Tasang, Udarate Tasang Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Unless it is happened, the complete sustainable global development cannot happen. With these words, once again, wishing a very bright future to the INDIACom, and praying to the God for crossing the millions and millions of the steps by the INDIACom, and wishing all the best to you, the people. I conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for inspiring us and acknowledging the great work. Moving on, INDIACom feels truly honored to have Professor Mohammed Yamin, the Australian National University, Canberra, Australia, as guest of honor amongst us. Sir is currently at IMS at the King Abdulaziz University, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which is ranked in the top 100 universities of the world. He is also an adjunct at the School of Computing of Australian National University, College of Engineering, Cybernetics and Computing. Sir served the University of Canberra as well as the Australian National University, where he also completed his PhD degree. Sir, main research areas are crowd management, cyber privacy, security, MIS and AI applications into health management. He is also the General Chair at the International Conference of Information Engineering and Management, which is consistent of INDIACom. He is also the editor of both the journals owned by Bharati Vidyapeeth. We welcome Sir with an e-bouquet.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Can you see my picture?
Sir, no, it's not there.
Let me
Click on
try.
start video, doctor. Start video, start video.
Yeah, there is a video which is crossed. I'm trying to do this. Probably how. This video, because I was coming from the audience one, the video is like crossed and it doesn't want to go away.
No issue, sir.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for should I say inviting or forcing myself to be part of the organization. Well, I would say good morning. It's 1:12 in the morning in Australia, where I'm talking from. And Professor Agrawal, Professor Huda, invited guests, dignitaries, and students. It is my pleasure to be with you. And I'm very, very, very glad that I am talking to you. Okay, let me try once again. If the camera preview, camera settings, front facing camera. Yes. Can you see me now? Okay, I don't know what it is.
Sir, we can hear you.
That's fine. That's fine. Let me see what happened. Then I need this one. Stop. Probably now you can see me. Probably.
Yes, we can see you.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, sir. So video is clear now.
Okay, all right. Well, with the grace of God, INDIACom has completed 17 years. with an unprecedented success, which we all can see. I'm fortunate to have been a member of the INDIACom family for last 7 years or maybe 8 years, I don't remember. As many of you know, International Conference on Information Engineering and Management, which I claim to be mine, although it was initially started by George Sarimarisis, but he abandoned and I took it over. It has been running its own track, which is now track 5 within INDIACom 2023. Look, today I'm just going to touch on something slightly different. I will talk very little about sustainability. We had some very wonderful speakers and speeches on sustainability. So I think we have got quite a good dose, ended by our friend Nayak ji. जब तक ये नायक जी नहीं आते हैं, पिछले एक बार नहीं थे तो मुझे थोड़ी उदासी थी, बट इस बार इनको देख करके मैं बहुत खुश हुआ. Can you hear me, Nayak ji? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. Well, I'm very proud to be associated with some of the invitations of some of the prominent international academic and researchers. Some of them have already joined us from their countries. I thank you all with you, and I'm thankful to your words of wisdom. Unfortunately, this time I couldn't travel to New Delhi due to a serious clash of a very important activity in my domain. Look, when we were deciding the date, Professor Huda has proposed 22 March, which I said that the Ramadan will start 23 and I won't be able to travel. So for my sake, he changed it to 15th of March. From 22nd of March to 15th of March. I'm thankful for his sacrifice of whatever date he had in mind, just to accommodate and to make sure that I would be in Delhi. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. I feel very sad. The academic activities of Bharati Vidyapeeth have immensely benefited many, including myself. Incidentally, in 2021 and 2022, last year and before last year, I have been listed in the top 2% researchers of the world. Let me share a few secrets of this and other successes that God has blessed me with. Especially some of the comments I'll be making, they are very, very, I think, useful for the younger generation, the students and the young researchers. The aim is not to clarify, but to go through some of the things that I encountered, maybe someone can take lessons from. After completing my graduation from the Aligarh Muslim University in India, I completed my PhD from the Australian National University. I was again blessed by God to have had PhD scholarship from the Australian National University. How could I do PhD in Australia coming from a very village, going to the school 2 kilometers away bare feet, and so on and so forth? I can write a book on that life of mine. I started teaching at Punjab University, followed by Jammu University, and then settled into Jamia Millia Islamia. In about 11 years of my services to these universities, I could only publish a few research papers, but they were only from my PhD. PhD was great. I'm very proud of that. Those papers were published by American, Australian, and Edinburgh Mathematical Society journals, but nothing else. In 1994, I migrated to Australia and eventually got an academic job in the University of Canberra. There I felt pressure. Can you hear me? I'm audible, okay? Is my voice reaching? Fine.
That's fine.
There I felt pressure to
Yes,
do
sir.
some research.
Yes,
I
sir.
felt a lot of pressure to do research while being a member or lecturer of the University of Canberra at the time. However, my problem was change from mathematics to IT and management. Coming from mathematics, to me, research was something which mathematics is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That is research. 2 plus 2 cannot be 4.5 or 3.5. So coming to terms into other disciplines, IT and management was a challenge. Anyway, I unsuccessfully tried to collaborate with some colleagues at the University of Canberra. One day, I proposed to one of the colleagues that how about we do some research on Hajj issues, crowd issues. He commented, what is there in the Hajj to research? What can you do research on a topic like Hajj? Well, during my 11 years at the University of Canberra, I probably published 2 or 3 papers because I could not find the way I wanted to do research. This is in the backdrop. Please remember that in 2021 and 2022, I am one of the top 2% researchers of the world. Nearly zero output in India for 11 years, nearly zero output in Australia for 11 years. That was my research. Fast forward, I joined the King Abdulaziz University in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia in 2009. The dean there told me that if I published an ISI paper, I would get a pay raise. My salary will go up. I had no idea what he meant by ISI. I asked him, what is ISI? And he looked at me. Anyway, what he meant was SCI, what was used to be Thomson and Reiter database, which is SCI now. In any case, I started some serious research at that point of time. Initially, my focus was on Hajj and crowding because that was my passion. Because I felt that there were some research-worthy issues, which gave me more than a dozen papers, mostly in SCI index journals. I really wanted to send copies of these papers to my colleague who said, what is there to research in Hajj or crowd? But he lives no more. As the time passed, the scope and domain of my research widened. By now, I have about 110 journal papers. Most of them are indexed in Thomson Reiter, all this SCI and Scopus. About 70 conference papers, mostly from INDIACom, which are indexed, of course, in Scopus and SCI databases. Lately, the focus of my research has been on AI applications in the health domain. Well, I'm bringing a point. It's not a narration of a story. So, I'm being in the top 2% of researchers in the world is because of the favor and gift from God to me, who enabled me to write papers which got indexed in Scopus and SCI databases, as well as his blessing to grant me a healthy citation rate. Google Scholar, good citation rate there. In early days of COVID-19, this is one very interesting thing. And for the researchers and for those who are looking for citations, look at this example I'm giving you. In early days of COVID-19, I had published a very straightforward account of COVID-19 in the International Journal of Information Technology. It's a 6-page paper, very simplistic. The beauty of the paper probably is that everybody can understand what is in it. But it is one of the most straightforward papers ever I have produced. It has so far been cited by about 140 research articles, representing all continents of the globe, from everywhere, you name it, Europe, South America, North America, and so on. Well, friends, I have published some very serious papers, some very worthy papers, some papers which I'm very proud of. How much citation have they attracted? 3, 5, 9, 7, 11, 30 at the most. If somebody asks me how to increase, how to enhance my citation rate, I will suggest to them, write simple papers, popular papers, which everybody can read. Well, the point is that I have benefited from the initiatives of this institution, the Bharati Vidyapeeth, through its conferences and journal and so on, because I got a fair share of publications there, although I published many in the SCI. So this is how the institution and the INDIACom and the family has benefited me in person, and I'm sure there are people like me around who have been benefited from the activities. COVID-19 has changed our perceptions and the way we live, perhaps forever. Role of IT in almost all facets of our life has increased by manifold and has become indispensable. Well, should we say it's a welcome because of the COVID, or it's a gift of COVID? I don't know. It is an unprecedented development of the computing world, but it comes at a big price. We have to pay a price. Look at the price I'm pointing to is, look at the young children in your and other families, very young, 2 years old, 1.5 year old. Look at that, what they are doing. Do they have iPads and mobile phones in their hands, playing games? I have a 1.5 year granddaughter. Amazing, I can't believe what she does. I cannot comprehend. They have become IT gadget addicts. This is going to affect their life in many ways. No government policy, no government laws will work to fix their problems. The only one law, the law of the nature, will work. Love your children. Give them time. Be with them. Towards the end of my talk, I would like to congratulate INDIACom for its 17th anniversary. Bharati Vidyapeeth has made remarkable achievements in this period. They have produced International Journal of Information Technology, which is highly acclaimed and reaching new heights. And with the Professor Huda and others, they have told the details of that. It is a remarkable journal in the field of IT, and it is published by Springer. And you know, Springer publishes Nature. Nature is the journal where Nobel Prize winners publish their papers. Or if somebody can publish a paper in a Nature journal, they probably can claim a professorship in a Western world. I'm very proud to be an editor of both the journals. Bharati Vidyapeeth runs International Journal of Information Technology, and the other multi-discipline journal, which was unveiled today. Before I finish, I would like to thank all friends sitting on the dais, all friends who have spoken, all friends who have joined us from their countries. Let us hope that we meet next year in person in Delhi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for always inspiring us. I now request Professor Emin Huda to give away e-certificate. I again request sir to give away an e-memento as a token of appreciation from INDIACom.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Huda. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Blessed we are to have amongst us Dr. Ajay Kumar Gupta, Director, Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, New Delhi. Sir, as he is Deputy Director, and prior to that, he was associated with national level research organizations like National University of Educational Planning and Administration, New Delhi, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, and State Council of Educational Research and Training, New Delhi. He holds post-graduation in sociology, post-graduation diploma in journalism from Bharati Vidya Bhavan, New Delhi, and postgraduate diploma in book publishing from College of Vocational Studies. His area of specialization is journalism and publication. He was promoted to the post of Director, Research with ICSSR New Delhi. He has worked in various divisions of ICSSR. He has also been given responsibility of Chief Vigilance Officer of the organization. During his professional career, he has been instrumental in publication and dissemination of research reports arising out of various programs of the respective organizations like NUEPA, IGNU, SCERT, and ICSSR. The publications were brought out in collaboration with international publishers like Oxford University Press, Sage, Springer Nature, and Macmillan, etc. The fifth and sixth round of ICCR research survey in various disciplines of social sciences was also supervised by him. A huge round of applause for Sir. I request Sir to impart gathering with his great words.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this conference, that is INDIACom 2023, for inviting me to this conference. I am thankful to Professor Huda for inviting me. I am grateful to the management of this institute. I had the opportunity to visit Pune campus, and I had the opportunity to meet with Patang Rao Kadamji. So I can understand that why this institution has come to this stage, because this is the legacy which has been brought in from Pune. And I hope that in the times to come, this institute will grow, as most of the courses are associated with IP University, which has recently been granted NAC A++ category. So for that, I congratulate Professor Sani, who is sitting here. Respected Professor Professor Nayak, President, Computer Society of India, Professor K.K. Agarwal ji. I think there is nobody who doesn't know him. He is the founder of IP University. Shri Arvind Gupta ji, Director General, STPI. Professor Shri R.K. Vyas ji, Professor A.K. Sani, all the dignitaries who are sitting on the dais, and also in front of me, distinguished faculty members and young scholars. I won't take much time. I know that it's very difficult to sit. I can see. I won't take more than 2-3 minutes, because you have already listened to all the very, very eminent speakers. You have already, and I am also very keen to listen to Shri Arvind Gupta ji. I think you would be more benefited by his speech. Since I come from ICSSR, so I would like to just share something about ICSSR. ICSR is Indian Council of Social Science Research. It is headquartered at JNU campus, Aruna Asaf Ali Marg, and we are the apex body in the field of social sciences. And we have got 24 research institutes and 6 regional centers. I may come sometime again, and then I can talk about that in detail. But one thing I would like to say that we got this proposal for this supporting this conference also, but sir, due to some technical problems, we couldn't. But I'm sure that next conference our logo will be here. That we will discuss with Professor Huda. He came to my office last month, and due to him, today I'm here. Because thank you very much, sir. And this shows his great work, and particularly his PR and his enthusiasm. He is a person who works at the ground level. He is not a person who works while sitting in the room. So that's why you can see the success of this conference. It is not easy to organize conference, and that too on sustainable basis. And now this is the 17th edition. I think very soon you will have 25th edition, that is Silver Jubilee Conference. So I wish that would be organized on a very, very large scale, and you may even see our Honorable Prime Minister here. So because that, I think the magnitude would be such by that time. So without taking much of the time, I would say that the topic is quite relevant, and our Honorable Prime Minister is putting all his emphasis on this sustainable development, and all the ministries, all the departments, and everywhere the emphasis on sustainable development. And now even the G20 theme has also been surrounded around this sustainable development. And I hope that this conference will yield certain policy implications, and those would be passed on to the concerned departments. So we are looking forward for the outcome of this conference, and I wish all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the pearls of wisdom. We are very honored to have our chief guest, Shri Arvind Gupta, Director General Software Technology Parks of India, STPI, New Delhi, amongst us. Sir is Director General of Software Technology Parks of India. Before joining STPI, he was working in Telecom Regulatory Authority of India since 2004. As advisor in TRAI, he was responsible for formulating policies on broadband, data security and privacy issues, manufacturing DTH, IPTV, TV broadcasting, and OTT after having worked since 1997 in the Indian government run Premier Technology Center CDOT in various capacities. He has also worked with International Telecommunications Union as rapporteur on the basis related to migration to next generation networks, including OTT, cloud computing, security, and privacy related issues. Shri Kumar holds an MTech degree from prestigious Indian Institute of Technology, Varanasi, India. A huge round of applause. We warmly welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Parul. Good evening. I think everybody is feeling tired, right? So, founder, Vice Chancellor of IP University, Professor Agrawal ji, great Shire, Oda Saab, Professor in IP University, Saini Saab, other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, dignitaries online who are connected since 2-3 hours. It's really great honor and privilege to be part of very important this conference, very relevant subject of today. And it is always, you feel very great when you are coming back to your college. You feel young, you feel energetic, and today I can feel so. Will not take much time, only I will talk 2-3 things which is very important for today's context. Now this country is changing. This decade is being called as a decade, and next 10 years going to happen of that technology. Government is very supportive. Government is now well aware of this fact. If we really want to become world leader, this is only technology by which we can become the world leader. Whatever way possible, this government is supporting. And there are a lot of change now. We all are used to call ourselves as a conveyor belt engineer. We were good in mathematics. My parents has asked me to do engineering. I did good in GATE. I did my MTech. Then become engineer. So we used to call our conveyor belt engineer. We have put in conveyor. I was good in mathematics, became the engineer. Some Infosys, TCS caught us, and then we become the software engineer because it's a low hanging fruits of the software engineer. You did some course of 6 months, and then you are in USA. Those who did hardcore microelectronics engineer, hardcore computing research scholars, they have all converted into software engineer. And in this manner, this cost lost to the government, to this country, that we don't have researchers, we don't have good engineers who can work really on engineering subject. Everybody, all brain has gone to software engineering side because it was a low hanging fruits. Now time has changed. Your parents are not forcing you to do the engineering. You can make your choice. Thanks to that Three Idiot movie, which says, "मैं बहुत बेकार engineer बनूंगा, Papa," right? Now my child can say from me, "मैं engineer नहीं बनना चाहता," but I was not having that choice. And after becoming the engineer, after doing my BTech or MTech, there were only two choices. Either you are in government or you are in private. There was nothing like a startup. Today now government is supporting a startup any big, very big manner. And this opportunity must be capitalized by each and every students of engineering. We are not, as a STPI, we are not in basic research. We are not in applied research. This whole today's subject is more on applied research side. But we are on translational research. We are very clear that all research should be converted into commercialization. You must try to file patent as early as possible. No engineering college teaches you people what is the product cycle, how to create patent. That research is research only when you are able to create patent. Government is providing a lot of support. We are working with patent organization, do it fast. We are advocating day and night that please do it fast. But if you are not able to do patent the right time, we can never become good manufacturing nation. And today this is need of the world. Apart from this, in even a startup, even this research, major change which I can see, that change is today startups, Indian startups are in deep tech, which was earlier not the case.
And this all research, all these papers can help in the startup for the deep tech. And there is a reason for it, why we are good in deep tech, why we are going for the deep tech. Reason is very simple. Deep tech can be done only through artificial intelligence. Next wave is of artificial intelligence. And as India, we can do wonders in deep tech through artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence requires only two things. One is data, and second is algorithm. We as an Indian are very good in logical thinking. We can develop algorithms. You know, all the DLIs, all the design, all over the world, 80% of the design is done in India by Indian for the foreigners. And all patents are filed in USA, and design is being done in Bangalore. We are very good in logical thinking. We can develop very good algorithms, and we can create data like any other part of the world. Nobody can compare us. We are creating 8 billion transactions per month through UPI. No country can even think of. What the transaction we are doing in a month, the kind of data we are creating. If insurance company requires data of dents in the car, the kind of data we can create in a day, Euro cannot think in a year. We can have 10 lakhs dent in the car. We can get 10 lakhs dent in the car in a day. We can create, because we are 1.3 people, this has to be converted into assets, and that data creation by people of this country required for artificial intelligence. And this conference on computing is important from multiple things. Important is now everything is going to happen, whether it's a big data analytics or machine learning or artificial intelligence, everything is required computing. If we can work on sustainable computing things, I think we can do great work, not only for this country, but all over the world. In fact, today, when he says, now my YouTube channel has got 2 lakhs views, this again is computing. So your success is measured by how many people have viewed on the YouTube, which means how many computing has been done. Now the latest technology, which we are saying transparent, trusted, is blockchain. And blockchain is as much as trusted, as much as computing device it has, as many as server it has. If it is only based on 2 servers, there is no trust in that. Because majority can say it is wrong, which means it is wrong. So if you have thousands of the server for the same data, for the blockchain, which means this is a more trusted network which you have created through blockchain, and that means you need more and more computing device, and that means you have to have more sustainable computing device for the welfare of masses of this country. And the technology is a technology. Only technology means that if you can develop technology for the masses, if the researcher can do something for the public, that is actually the research. Coming to the topic, which is sustainable computing for sustainable global development, I think most of the devices, whether it's for device for networking and communicating, whether it's monitoring and tracking, whether it's analyzing, improving and forecasting, augmentation, automating, everything is required big data analytics, and that has to be done through sustainable media in a sustainable manner. And now, as I told, this new generation is well aware about the sustainability to achieve the sustainability development goal, which is fixed by UN to this country. That's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for holding this conference. Thank you to Hodaji. You have such a good, wonderful director. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for the great words, sir. INDIACom feels truly honored to have amongst us Professor K.K. Agarwal, noted academician, former chairman, National Board of Accreditation, New Delhi, and founder, Vice Chancellor, GGSIP University, New Delhi. Sir obtained his Bachelor of Engineering degree from Punjab University and
I think many of you know me here, and there's no problem, no point in taking time on that. I can introduce myself in one sentence. INDIACom is a very good conference, going very well, and I'm good enough to be invited 17th time for INDIACom. Friends, Shri Arvind Gupta, Director General STPI, my good friend, Professor Hoda, who is the real fulcrum of INDIACom, who is the workforce behind INDIACom, very strong, Hote, assisted by Dr. Vyas, Dr. Sani, my colleagues. Professor Nayak here, who has been president of CSI and has been a very active contributor to the promotion of computer science in the country. Shri Ajay Gupta ji from ICSSR, our colleagues from Computer Society of India, Dr. Shiv Kumar, Dr. Sanjay Yadav, from DST, Shri Dr. Ashok Singh ji, faculty of Bharati Vidyapeeth, and young students. I'm extremely happy to be here once again on the occasion of computing for sustainable global development. I would like the young students to just appreciate that 17 years ago, even this title was very innovative. Today, everybody talks about sustainable development, but 17 years ago, to think of sustainable development, I think itself was very creative aspect. And then to keep it continuously growing has been a great journey by itself. I've been a part of this journey most of the years, I think only twice when I was abroad, and there was no time, those were not the days of online joining. So I missed, I think, those 2 years, but remaining 15 years I've been here on the inauguration of this conference. So that itself is a great sustainability. I have been a student of quality and reliability, and I have always said, which is every book on quality says, if you are better today than you were yesterday, then you are quality. And I think INDIACom has been believing in this. Every year has been better than last year in some sense. Starting with less than 100 papers to have crossed somewhere 3,000 is not a small deal. But more important than this is the quality not being lost in the process. I was looking at the journal. It's difficult to pick it up. It's so heavy. And to get so many papers from authors all over the world to be published in a journal which has already acquired a good impact factor is not a small thing. I would certainly like to join you all in congratulating Dr. Hoda, who is the chief editor of this journal, and all his team for doing something great. And I was just thinking, it is something like we used to teach in software engineering, waterfall model. You know, things automatically start happening. So I think INDIACom has come to a waterfall model where things are just happening and happening and happening and will continue to happen. It will be difficult to even stop this water flow now. And the only method is to take it forward and to continue to take it forward. I'm sure they will. Lot has been talked about the topic, about the journal. Everybody is now talking about sustainability. And computing itself over the last 17 years has gone through a great change. Computing 17 years before and computing today are very different. I still remember 17 years ago when we thought of this conference, I think we used to pay some 4 rupees per minute for a call. That was the kind of situation. And today you hardly pay 4 rupees per day for everything, any damn thing you wish to do on the computer. That's the kind of economic computing which is available to us. Friends, you may not appreciate the youth here. They have not seen the costly computing days. You are so much used to cheap computing, economic computing, you can't appreciate. We definitely, I mean, for example, when I started working on the computer which I was working on was occupying the size of this room, and its power was probably 1/1,000,000th of the power in your pockets. That's the kind of computer on which we started working on. And you're fortunate, you're lucky that you have a device which can do anything for you. And now with 5G and all that, I think the revolution is still awaiting you. For the first time in the history of technology, we have a situation, we have more technology than the problems we have. Earlier, we always used to say necessity is the mother of invention. So you used to invent technology to solve a problem. Now you invent problem to make use of the technology, because the problems which were henceforth thought of being unsolvable are being solved. Protein problem, the management people would, health science problem people will see, was insolvable, has been solved. So the problems which we felt can never be solved. Online education. Who thought in this world that online education will become a reality of life? I mean, AICT, UGC have been in the Supreme Court just 3 or 4 years ago, giving an affidavit, online education is unsuitable. And today we just can't think of doing without online education. That's the power of technology. First of all, power of technology. Second, cost-effective technology. And it's almost free of cost. Almost free of cost. Anything by and large you say. So friends, situation is very different now. And somebody was referring to most of the undergraduate students here. I'm really not sure how many of you are contributing the research papers in this conference. I think if not, from next year, we must have a very strong presence of undergraduate students contributing research papers, because word over, now we have more than 25% papers published by undergraduate students. And that's a very great trend. And our strength of this country is undergraduate students, not the PG students or PhD students in that sense. It's the undergraduate students is the strength of this country. Our IITs live because of the undergraduate students worldwide. And undergraduate students, even the world can publish more than 20% papers, why not in this country? It's only a question of trend setting. And because Dr. Hoda has been very good in trend setting, I would like to suggest that a very good session for undergraduate research papers should become a feature of this conference, because that is what we really wish to have. Friends, the whole philosophy of sustainability has changed because of computing. If you just look back, most of the ancient towns all over the world, most of the ancient big towns were across the banks of the rivers, because that was the only transportation method. And you will like to live where the transportation is possible. So whether you talk about London, you talk about, in India, you talk about Varanasi, you talk about Calcutta, you talk about Allahabad, or Delhi, all the major towns would used to be near the river banks, because that was the only method of transportation. Then when roads became the transport network, then roads, it was easy to chart out the path of the road, and we could take the road wherever we wanted to, but rivers had their own way, we had to do that. Now, friends, cyberways are everywhere equally accessible. Dr. Naik was emphasizing very strongly that 61% or 69% people still live in rural India. And that they could never think of getting the facilities which they can get now. The reason is simple, because your cyber express can go to the village and the city at the same cost. There is no differential in cost for the cyber waves to reach a village or a town. And that's the most beautiful opportunity for this country, where we can uplift our villages without bringing them to the cities. I think that's a great power of this technology, which is computing, and we have to ensure that. Friends, Dr. Hoda today marked on a new venture that's starting a new journal of multidisciplinary research. I again congratulate you for that, because multidisciplinarity is the way of life which has to happen. Let's be very clear. Although we give you degree, BTech, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, MCA, MBA, take me for granted that within 10 years of your professional life, you will be working in an area which will have nothing to do with your degree, by and large. So with that kind of scenario, multidisciplinarity will be very, very important. Class, as a matter of fact, COVID has given us many problems. But COVID has taught us one thing very strongly, that no problem can be solved only by one subject professionals. If the world would have believed that the COVID will be handled by doctors alone, COVID would have never been handled. COVID had to be handled by doctors, by medical researchers, by engineers, by data scientists, by transportation people, by political people, by social science people. All these people had to come together to handle COVID. Otherwise, it was not handleable. And that's a great teaching of COVID. I think last year I said, or not here, I don't remember, but somebody said that the award for the best teacher 2020 should go to COVID. Because the COVID has taught us more than any other teacher could have ever taught us. And that is the power of multidisciplinarity studies we can change now. And lastly, I would say, computer science was always interdisciplinary. We never understood it, but what is computer science? If we go to the basic philosophy of computer science, it was giving mathematical language to philosophy, nothing else. If A is true and B is true, C is true. And just give it a Boolean algebra equation to it and make the computers out of it. So translating a subject like philosophy, which is a hardcore arts subject, giving it a mathematical language, give us the computers. So if somebody called computer is a very specialized subject, I don't believe it. It is most interdisciplinary subject. And then when we came to information technology, we made it more interdisciplinary, because we put cybernetics into this, we put communication into this, we put all the applications into this. So therefore, multidisciplinarity is not something new. We were doing it subconsciously. Now we are trying to do it consciously and make sure it is done. I'm an engineer, so are many people here, most of the people here. And whenever a child in a family used to come to class 11th, everybody in the entire locality was worried whether you are doing PCM, PCB. Everybody will ask your mother, father, PCB, PCM. I mean, as if you are going to either North Pole or South Pole and there's nothing in between. Fortunately, that is gone. And today, Dr. Guleria, who just retired from AIMS, he says we cannot practice health innovations without technology. Dr. At Narayana Hospitals, Dr. Shetty, he says if we want to improve rural health, technology innovation is the only solution. So that is what doctors are saying. So the bridge between medical sciences and non-medical sciences has been made now. And that's a great, great service for us to do that. Otherwise, friends, you will see many great people. They were multidisciplinary. They were working in more than one subject most of the time. If I start naming Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose in this country, he works in microwave communications, which is hardcore physical science. And he also discovers the most fundamental principle of life science, that plants have life. So a person who discovers most fundamental physical science and most fundamental life science was a person, Professor Bose. Madame Curie, she got 2 Nobel Prizes. Mind you, 2 Nobel Prizes is not something small. One in physics, one in chemistry. And today, when we talk to an MSc Physics, even if we talk anything of chemistry, he says, "Sir, आप physics वाले से बात कर रहे हैं, chemistry का नहीं मुझे कुछ पता." And vice versa. So we had the forgotten multidisciplinarity in the hardcore race, mad race of CGPA. Number of courses, CGPA, weight of the school bag. I mean, these had become our matrix. But the real knowledge went somewhere here, there, and that is why we were losing. Multidisciplinarity journal, therefore, I was very happy. Somebody mentioned about e-waste. I think that's another area which you should emphasize in this conference, because when you say computing for sustainable development, it is also our responsibility that we do not create problems for sustainability. And e-waste is a pretty serious problem, which is still the world is not realizing. In the IS interviews last time, I asked somebody with 10-digit numbers, you can only have 10 raised to power 10 people having a unique number. So when the population increases that, what will you do? And in every home, there are 10 phones lying in drawers somewhere which are not used, maybe same inside. We have to be very careful of that problem. Otherwise, I think sustainability itself will become unsustainable. And we'll have to think what to do, because when you will have no number to be given to you, because if the population becomes 10 to power 10, which is close enough, and everybody has a phone, then where do you go? So therefore, I think e-waste and computing for sustainable development is fine, but computing itself does not become a problem for sustainability. That's also our duty to see and make sure that we are able to do that. Artificial intelligence, Arvind Gupta ji was talking, is the future. Yes, it is the future, but because he is younger to us, let me tell him, it was the past also. I taught artificial intelligence 43 years ago, but then 30 years nobody talked about artificial intelligence. Why? Because there was no data algorithms, and therefore artificial intelligence as a subject was of no use. If the data is not there and data algorithms are not there, what the hell do you do with artificial intelligence? And now artificial intelligence is taking us over. Chat GPT has successfully passed MBA examination of Wharton School of Management. One of the best management schools in the world, its MBA examination has been passed by a dummy system, ChatGPT. So what do you do then? What do we teach you then? If your job can be done by a ChatGPT, why do you come to do MBA? You will have to challenge yourself. We will all have to challenge our academic system. Machine will always try to be better than us, because it can be fast, it can be more foolproof, it will not make mistakes once it's programmed properly. And what do? We will have to learn to do something which machine cannot do. So I'll close by saying, unless we learn that we will be ahead of the machine all the time, and that's only possible when we always try to do something which machine finds it's very difficult to do. GPT is on the cards, GPT-4. Maybe next week or next month it will come. And that will be million times faster than ChatGPT. So with that kind of artificial intelligence coming in the way, I will only end by saying, reading a very beautiful paper, he said, let all the artificial intelligence systems do not make us naturally stupid. Because if that happens, then the world has gained nothing by computers. We'll have to take care of that. With these few words, particularly for my young friends here, young students here, you will have to be very fast. You will have to be very fast, innovative. You will have to be very creative. And then only you will really enjoy this word. This word is yours for you to enjoy, to take us to the position of Vishwaguru, which we have destined, but it can be reached through you, provided you are fast, you are creative, you are innovative, you keep sustainability always in the mind, you keep doing new things all the time. I wish you all the best and hope INDIACom keeps growing and we keep on talking about new and new things every year. I'm extremely grateful to Dr. Hoda and his team for making me a part of this a great event and wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your humble and inspiring words. I now request Honorable Professor K.K. Agarwal, sir, and all the honored dignitaries to come in front and do all the felicitations. I take the honor to invite Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh, Director and Scientist, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, on the stage to kindly receive the honorary fellowship. His significant contributions for making INDIACom successful year after year have been tremendous, to which we are grateful. This certificate is granted to Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh for his admission as Honorary Fellowship of the Institution of Information Technology Professionals, IITP, an organization for promoting professional development in the field of science, engineering, ICT, and management 2023. A huge round of applause.
Honorable guest on the dais, off the dais, it is not only the proud moment for me, but I am amazed to see the progress made by INDIACom in 17 years. While presenting the progress by Professor Yaman Huda, we have seen the representations by all the states of the country and putting the coordinates all over the globe and the kind of quality improvement and the importance of the topics like computing for sustainable global development to achieve the Millennium Development Goals as well as Sustainable Development Goals of the UN 2030 agenda, and the recent development industry 4.0, the kind of topics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, quantum computing, 5G, blockchains. These are the very, very important and upcoming areas which are going to be discussed in next 2 days. It is really great honor for me to be associated with the INDIACom. It should be GlobalCom, now WorldCom, from INDIACom tending to the WorldCom or GlobalCom. Thank you with these words.
Now the annual faculty awards. Starting with the best faculty award, INDIACom takes pleasure and pride in presenting the best faculty award. The award for the year 2022 for Department of Computer Science and is presented to Dr. Sunil Pratap. A huge round of applause, students. The award for the year 2022 for Department of Journalism and Mass Communication is presented to Mrs. Ayushi Chopra. Huge round of applause. Moving on, we have Star Performer Award. BVI takes pride and pleasure in presenting with the Star Performer Award year for 2022 Mrs. Sakshi Agarwal for exceptional performance and significant contribution in training and placement cell of the institute. A huge round of applause, all the students. Moving on, award for grant of Indian patent. BVI takes pride and pleasure in conferring this award upon Dr. Vishali Joshi in recognition of her significant contribution towards quality research and receiving the grant for Indian patent. Moving on, Best Researcher Award.
PVICAM New Delhi takes pride and pleasure in conferring Best Researcher Award for the year 2022 upon Dr. Parul Arora in recognition of her significant contribution towards quality research consistently. Moving on to Exemplary Performance Awards 2022. BVI New Delhi takes pride and pleasure in presenting the Exemplary Performance Award for the year 2022-23 for exemplary performance, extraordinary contributions to effective professionalism and morale. The award for the year 2022 for Department of Computer Science and Application goes to, first of all, I'll call upon Mr. Uttam Singh Bisht.
A huge round of applause. The next award for the Department of Computer Science and Applications for exemplary performance goes to Mr. Manish Kumar. The next award for the Department of Computer Science and Applications for Exemplary Performance Award goes to Dr. Ritika Vasan. A huge round of applause, students. The award for the year 2022 for the exemplary performance in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication goes to Dr. Vanchika Bhatia. Moving on, we have award for best research paper publication. BVI takes pride in conferring this award upon Mr. Uttam Singh for his work published in Journal of Concurrency Computation Practice, indexed at Web of Science.
BVICam also takes pride in conferring this award upon Dr. Parul Arora for her work published in International Journal of Computer Applications in Technology 2022, indexed at Web of Science. The next award is for research paper citations. BVICam New Delhi takes pride and pleasure in conferring this award upon Mr. Manish Kumar in recognition of his continuous contribution towards quality research and having more than 260 research citations for a single paper by end of the year 2022. The next award is for Exemplary Contribution Award towards building associations of BVICam. BVICam takes pride in conferring this award upon Mrs. Anushri Tanwar.
I shall now initiate the memento presentation. I hereby request Professor M.N. Huda, Director, New Delhi and General Chair, INDIACom 2023, and Executive Vice Chairperson, IEEE Delhi Section, to give away a token of appreciation to Honorable President of the function, Professor K.K. Agarwal, noted academician, former Chairman, NBA, New Delhi. I again request Professor M.N. Huda, sir, to give away a token of appreciation to Honorable Chief Guest Shri Arvind Gupta, Director General, STPI, New Delhi. I again request, sir, to give away a token of appreciation to the guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar Gupta, Director, Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, New Delhi. I again request, sir, to give away a token of appreciation to the guest of honor, Professor A.K. Nayak, former President, Computer Society of India. Thank you all the dignitaries. I request vote of thanks by Dr. Ritika Vasan, Associate Professor, BVICam, New Delhi.
Thank you, dear Parul. It is my great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on the historic occasion. As it is rightly quoted, no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks, because gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Honorable Professor K.K. Agarwal, sir, noted academician, former Chairman, National Board of Accreditation, NBA, and founder Vice Chancellor, GGS IP University, New Delhi. Shri Arvind Gupta, sir, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India, New Delhi. Dr. Ajay Kumar Gupta, sir, Director, Indian Council for Social Science Research, ICSSR, New Delhi. And all the honorable dignitaries who have joined us today on this auspicious day. Our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege and to extend a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in one way or the other to make this conference a success. BVICam is extremely honored to serve as a host for all authors, delegates, scholars, researchers, teachers, and students during INDIACom 2023, the 10th international proceeding for the 17th annual conference on computing for sustainable global development. I thank Professor M.N. Huda sir for his constant support and guidance that has constantly inspired all of us, students, teaching and non-teaching staff, to work for betterment. I will fail in my duty if I do not put on record my deep appreciation for the authors to our nation's development and discussants for their valuable contributions to attain such visionary objective. I, on behalf of the entire BVI-CAM family, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for gracing this important work and sharing with us your findings and opinions today. It is this treasure which will keep the memories of this conference alive. I also take this opportunity to thank the various organizations that have sponsored and collaborated with us in organizing this conference and meeting the financial constraints, especially to GGS IPU University, New Delhi, Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, Indian Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, All India Council for Technical Education, Institute of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers, Delhi Center, IIT UK, and Delhi Local Networks. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. Preparations for this conference started weeks ago. It required planning and an eye for details. We are fortunate enough to have a team of dedicated and motivated colleagues who know their job well and are result oriented. I thank our program committee members to have spared their precious time for reviewing the papers. Though I thank them in the end, but the student body has been the backbone of INDIACom 2023, be it organizing, participating, or preparing for the event. I applaud them for their endless efforts. I may have missed out on many names. I sincerely apologize for the same. And let them know that we value them highly. A very, very big thank you to all of you. Thank you. We'll now start with the cultural evening.
I request all the students to be seated while the dignitaries proceed for the dinner.